Richard.
In about 5 seconds, we are.
Welcome into Stacking the Box right here live on Radio Row, right here in Las Vegas. Sterling Holmes, my guy Malcom, unified coverage, fan-sided and Special Olympics. Malcom, how are you?
I am doing exceptionally well today. Sterling, how about you?
I'm doing well, man. How was your, you had a little fun little dinner. Going to Carmine's, huh?
Yeah, dinner last night at Carmine's was phenomenal. We had Italian, it was family style. It was very fun, had a exceptional time with with everybody from Special Olympics, on the team, and it was fun.
Awesome, man. Really happy for you.
How's the U2 concert last night?
Yeah, it was nuts, man. I went to the U2 concert at the Sphere, and unlike anything I've ever seen and probably will see ever again, it is the most futuristic. The best way to describe it is imagine having the highest definition TV that is all around you.
Absolutely.
And your chair moves, your chair vibrates.
Yeah.
You have sound coming every different angle.
Oh, yeah.
You get flustered almost because, like, you have not witnessed something like this before. Now it's interesting trying to see what's a concert going to look like without all this stuff going on behind you.
Exactly, behind the scenes,
Now, I will say, I'm not the biggest U2 guy, and if you're not the biggest U2 fan, you don't have to be.
Right.
You don't have to be to see something like this. This was a very cool experience for anyone who is almost the Sphere is first.
Right.
U2's in the background.
So speaking of yesterday, out of all the guests we did yesterday, who stood out to you yesterday?
Man, there were so many great ones. So many great ones. Justin Pugh was so much fun, right?
Yeah.
The Giants offensive lineman, him going from off the couch to all of a sudden now he's playing.
Yeah.
Man, there were a lot of good ones. Honestly, I think at the very end of the day, Denzel Ward and Myles Garrett, they were great with Bounty.
Nice.
It's always nice when they know the catchphrase of the company they're working with, So it was really fun. I started, and then Myles Garrett finishes it as we're crushing some wings right here. That was a good time. What about you, man? What was your favorite?
I loved Puka Nacua yesterday. I loved Michael Penix Jr. yesterday.
Yeah.
Justin Pugh, unbelievable yesterday. Got to shake his hand yesterday. He's like, you look like an offensive lineman almost, with with the way I was just shaking his hand yesterday.
You're a tackle because see, you're in shape, so you're a tackle. You're on the outside. You're the athletic, movable tackle.
Yeah,
It's the
I'm very
hands.
athletic.
It's the hands right there.
Yeah, very big basketball hands I have here.
A couple of questions / comments to get to. Phantom says, "Good morning, Chiefs Kingdom. Good morning." Jalen Butler says, "You two are doing a hell of a job. Keep it up. Love the insight on Media Row." Hey, thank you, Jalen. Always appreciate you. We have a whole bunch of folks coming your way today. We'll be joined by Mike Golic Sr. and
Mike Golic Jr.
Yeah, they'll be joining us around 8 a.m. this morning. Emmitt Smith will be joining us as well.
We got Drew Brees on the docket today. We have Saquon Barkley, Lisa Kerney. So it's gonna be amazing. Here at the road today, and looking forward to what surprises we have in store. We also got Kurt Warner and also C.J. Stroud too.
Yeah, I mean, it is going to be an absolutely packed day. It's going to be phenomenal.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy.
It's picking up, man.
Yeah.
Tuesday was you ease into it, right?
Right.
Tuesday you ease into it. Monday night was all pretty much the opening night. That was crazy.
Yeah, it was.
But you're fine. It's confined in a couple hours.
But now you have today, you have today and you have tomorrow. Today, today's going to be, even crazy because we're what, 4 days away from the big game.
Yeah.
So
we are getting close.
Yeah.
Very
close.
Very close.
Yep.
Yeah, man. I cannot wait. Again, as someone who grew up in Kansas City.
Yeah.
As someone who has grown up loving and watching and ingesting sports media, right? Like every morning, Sports Center's on. Every morning you're watching a sports show as a kid. For me, this is a dream come true. It's funny. I tried talking myself in because we knew we were going to the Super Bowl in Radio Row well in advance, right?
Yeah.
Well before we knew who was going to be playing in it.
Exactly.
And so I'm sitting here laughing, talking to myself, well, the Chiefs aren't in it. Maybe it's even better.
Yeah.
But guess what, Malcom?
The Chiefs are in.
The Chiefs are in it, and your team's in it.
Yeah, the Niners are in it too. I'm excited. It's just good. We got Mike Golic Sr. and Jr.
It's a family affair, baby. Can we get like some what's it, Sly the Family Stone playing in the background for you guys walking around, you know?
Yeah, we travel around together. We're getting to the point where he's just going to have to start carrying me around. Yeah.
How you guys doing?
We're doing well.
today?
Doing well. Doing very well. Thanks.
Awesome. Obviously, you guys are here on behalf of Sugarlands Distilling Company. A new something coming out right here, huh?
Yeah, so Sugarlands has been phenomenal. They're out of Gatlinburg, Tennessee. They're making like the sipping cream and vodka and some whiskeys, and they've been a sponsor for the Golic Family Foundation golf tournament for the last couple of years. And then they said, hey, how about our 10th anniversary is coming up March 9th. Birthday cakes is kind of along with a birthday, so why not a birthday cake with the Golics as the brand ambassador? So we're like, cake and birthday. We're good with that. So that's going to be coming out. Sugarlands.com is where you can check them out. Sugarland Shine at Sugarland Shine is where they are on Twitter and on Instagram. So pretty cool thing, right?
We knocked a few back at the golf tournament with them and started putting cake in a blender, and then the rest was sort of history there. We realized we stumbled onto some gold, and so now everyone else gets to taste the beauty that we were a part of the birth of there.
We literally did put cake in a blender. He's not kidding. We put cake in a blender, and that's how we came up with this
So
idea.
I'm assuming the putts weren't falling. A lot of 3 putts in the golf tournament. You're like, you know what? We got to find something to get right.
It's the story of every charity golf tournament where early on, if you got a group that's serious golfers, you try and see, hey, is this going to be our day? Are we going to shoot low? And then about hole 6, 7, you make that decision. All right, we're going to turn back to the drink cart another time here and just start to enjoy the rest of our day.
It's Snap Hook Central over here.
Exactly.
Who's the better golfer?
Oh, it's Dad. This happened, a recent phenomenon, probably around the pandemic. We were doing the morning show at ESPN with Trey Wingo, and my dad caught the bug. We had never belonged to a country club. We had never been real golfers. My dad shot mid-90s drunk or sober, and then decided he wanted to golf 4 times a week and become someone who actually could hit the ball straight more often than not.
Right.
Mike hits it better than I do. He's way more limber than I am. He does Pilates.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
I'm a yoga man.
Are you?
Yeah.
See, he does that as well.
Yeah.
I don't. So my I need a new shoulder and a new knee, so the flexibility is not there. So I don't hit it far. Mike hits it incredibly far, but you have zero idea where it's going to go. No, yeah, you do. Way right. Way right it's going to go, yeah. And then it's just, we have more golf balls in our bag than anybody else because we don't bother going to look for them.
Yeah.
We just hit another one.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Mike C, I would love to ask you, was it easier to raise your son growing up?
Easier?
Yeah.
I mean, listen, the tougher part, in playing sports all my life is I could control what went on the field. I could control everything. Watching my kids, Mike played at Notre Dame and then was in a couple camps in the NFL. Jake played at Notre Dame. My son, my daughter swam at Notre Dame. It is way more difficult and nerve-wracking to watch your kids perform than me performing.
Right.
Because I could control it. When I'm sitting in the stands, I can't control anything. You just live and die with every single play your kids are out on whatever field they're on. And I know every parent understands that. So that part was nerve-wracking, but working with them has been fantastic.
I'll say this, I had to listen to him back then. Now he doesn't sign the paycheck, so I have a little bit more freedom leeway to work now.
More autonomy now.
He doesn't get to pull the line that he loved to pull back in the day, which was anytime I, sort of push back, he'd go, look up. You see that? That's the roof I put over your head.
Here's what he didn't like, or Jake, is they would play their games on Saturday, and on Sunday I would take them down into our film room and we'd break down tape. They were like, Dad, we're in high school. What are we doing here? I said, listen, you have goals. We're going to do this and you're going to listen. So I can't wait to do it with the grandkids.
Yeah, well, you guys are in your prime. Who's winning the pass rush set? Who's winning that?
Oh, he would beat me because I played 9 years in the NFL and I had 11 and a half sacks.
Yeah.
Some say that's bad. I say it's consistent.
I say you lasted a long time.
It's a little
things.
A little over one a year I thought was consistent. Now, my brother Bob played 14 years. He couldn't rush the passer either. Right. We would have a competition every year on who had the most sacks. If you got one, you had a commanding lead. So I think Mike would be able to pass block me.
Pass blocking, I'd probably have him. Run stopping, that probably would have been a little bit tougher there. That was the secret sauce for the old man there. When you got Reggie White and Jerome Brown and Clyde and all those guys, they're going to get after the passer. We need someone to honor the run in the middle of all this.
You got to let them pad their stats. That's what it was. You were letting them pad their stats.
Good
stats.
teammate.
Yeah,
Good
good
teammate.
teammate.
So, Mike Sr., was there a player in your career that was the toughest you had to go up against?
Oh, yeah, there's a couple. And we just talked to him yesterday on our show. It was Anthony Munoz, who I consider the greatest left tackle of all time. I played against Mike Webster, Hall of Fame center, Dwight Stevenson, Hall of Fame center. Right. So there were a number of players that took turns beating me on the football field. You know, you think you're brought up with the thought, I tried to teach that to my kids as my dad to me, you think you're going to win every play. I'm going to win every play. And then you lose a play, I'm going to win the next play. And then you lose a play. Lost a lot of plays to those guys. So I played against a lot of Hall of Famers, a lot of great players.
Did you always know you wanted to follow in your dad's footsteps? Because I actually had my mom, I'm not going to talk about her very much, but she did radio in Kansas City for a long time. I was like, I'm not doing radio. I'm done. I don't want to do that. I'm going to have my own path here. And then the next thing I know, I'm not going to lie, free concerts, that was pretty fun. You know, being on air, that's pretty fun. Did you always know you wanted to do something like this, or was it a fortuitous route as well?
No, I think this is something I always knew I wanted to do. I always tell people, you know, Dad played in the NFL for 9 years, but I was so young when that went on. I was born in the middle of his career, and by the time I could really have memories, most of them were of him as a broadcaster. It was getting to go around when he was calling college football games and calling college football bowl games. It was seeing the growth of Mike and Mike from that bird's eye view. And so all of that combined with the fact that I always said I was a chubby kid that liked to talk a lot. So football and then talking about football was a pretty logical career path that I needed to make work because my skills outside of that were lacking. So, and I naturally held court in the locker room. I like talking to people. I like engaging about the sport. And so it always felt like a natural spot. How can I make talking about a game that's been so good to me the thing that I get to do? And thankfully, I had a pretty good roadmap for how to get that done.
So, Mike Jr., share your experience at Notre Dame. What was that like?
It was awesome. I mean, I grew up, I think more so than anything, and I've realized this now, I wanted to play football more at Notre Dame than I wanted to, play in the NFL. It's not to say that wasn't a goal. It's not to say I wasn't disappointed I didn't play in the NFL, but I had always lionized that gold helmet because I looked and I saw, all right, look at what that place did for my mom and dad. Look at what it made them as far as the people that they are. My mom went to St. Mary's, which is the all-women's college right next to Notre Dame. That's where her and my dad met, and that's where our whole family has really called home for my entire life. And so getting to go from seeing it through their eyes and seeing it as an outsider to then getting to go and have that place be my home for a little while and to meet so many of my friends that I'm still close with and to learn about myself as a football player and as a young man, it was the greatest experience I could have ever asked for at that place. And, you would have loved to have won a few more games and some stuff like that, but I think at the end of the day, as time goes on, that stuff becomes so secondary to all of the things you learned and the people that you came across there.
Awesome.
I know you used to host the lighter side of sports. You've done a lot, but the lighter side of sports. I remember when I was young and growing up, you'd watch on TV, and that was always fun as a kid. You're like, oh, hell yeah, someone's going to get – someone's doing something they shouldn't be doing.
That was a lot of fun. When I got approached to do that, and what made it more fun is a couple of years we shot all the shows in Hawaii, so there's nothing wrong with that, getting a trip to Hawaii. But to be able to kind of prank other, guys that were my peers at that point when I was playing and do some of that stuff, that was a lot of fun. But unfortunately, I got known for that show, so whenever I was doing a show and brought on someone from the NFL, they were a little leery. They were like, okay, something's going to happen to me. I don't know what, but something's going to happen.
I want to also talk about, well, actually really quickly, we have a couple comments right here. Are you a Swiftie at all? Do you know any Taylor Swift?
I've been known to dabble a little bit, yes.
Dabble a little bit.
I had a great flashback. Obviously, we're in the Mandalay Bay Convention Center. We're right connected to Delano, where you can go out and walk across to Allegiant from here across the bridge. Yep. And I had a flashback. The first Taylor Swift concert I saw of the 3 times I went on the Eras Tour this last year was here in Las Vegas. And so I walked past there, and I remember it was March, so peak March Madness. So you have all the sports bettors over there in the books, and then me and a bunch of women between 16 and 40 wearing sequins, all mashed up. So it's a bunch of backwards basketball jerseys and sequins.
I didn't know if you were wearing sequins too. Maybe on the jersey, bedazzle them or something.
I was jealous. I righted it wrong. So here I felt underdressed. I was a little bit more folklore Evermore era. And so by the time I went and saw her in Los Angeles, I had the sequins. I had 1989. I was ready to go.
Yeah, because they're asking if you could assign a Swift album to each team. What's the album?
Ooh, okay. All right. That's a great question here. I would say at this point right now, we've seen this week become a big storyline for the Chiefs. Are they the villain now? People think that, all right, they're the team that everyone's pushing back on.
Right.
We did think Taylor was going to announce the re-release of Reputation at the Grammys, and that didn't happen. She announced a new album, but the Chiefs feel like they're in their Reputation era right now. Everyone's kind of against them a little bit. They're brash. They're fine being the bad guy for everyone, and they're looking forward to that.
How about the Niners?
The 49ers are a little bit tougher one here, so let's think about this. You've got a quarterback who's a bit of an underdog right now, who's been able to survive that role. You got a guy who's come up short a little bit over and over again here. I'll say this one should be 1989 for the 49ers because this should be their year. 1989 was a big one for Taylor, one of her best albums here. And the way this team has come together, the way this roster is built up to this moment, it feels like it should be their time.
Did you both have a favorite guest in your career that was your favorite?
I mean, for the couple of decades doing this, and I think it's everybody's favorite guest when they get him, is Charles Barkley. I mean, he is, dude will say whatever he wants to say, and he is funny. And I've known him when I played with the Eagles. He was with the 76ers, so I've known him for a few decades. Great guy. We get along very well, and just a phenomenal guest.
I lived in Philly for 3 years. Favorite cheesesteak spot? You got one?
You know, Geno's and Pat's always talked about, but that's
come on, that's
I know it's commercialized. I don't even remember the names of them, but there were more than a few that I rarely went to those two. Right, but we always stopped. There was one, and I don't remember, right by our facility before we would go to our away games, and we would get 8 or 9 Philly cheesesteaks and take them on the plane with us going to our away game. And then when I was with the Dolphins, my last year in '93, we went to play in Philly. Yeah. And I had a bunch delivered to our nightly meeting before the game for my Dolphin teammates. Sure. And so, yeah, a big fan.
What about you? Favorite person you've interviewed
in your career?
So the coolest one I was a part of, and I forget if I was even like in on this interview or not, but when Dad and Greeny were still doing the show, they had Magic Johnson on, and I always say there is no one that's ever made me feel cooler by proximity than Magic Johnson. People talk about that smile and him as the face of an organization. Magic Johnson walks in and daps you up and throws that smile. You feel like you are 10 foot tall and bulletproof in that moment. And I'll never forget the energy that he brought to a room was really larger than life. There is no other way to describe it.
The coolest guest, a guy who just exudes it that we had on set, was Snoop Dogg. Just
exudes a different,
exactly. But he could just read a regular sentence and it's just cool. So he was a lot of fun as well.
As we look towards the Super Bowl, obviously, what are you guys looking at? You kind of pointed to the Niners finally getting over the hump here. Is that where you're leaning right now?
That's not my pick. I picked against the Kansas City Chiefs in the last 2 rounds, and I got made to look like a fool. And so I said, no matter what happens this week, I'm not going to let that happen again. I think the Kansas City Chiefs do win this game. I know they're underdogs going into this one, and if both teams were to play their absolute best game that their roster's capable of, the 49ers would absolutely win that game. I just don't know if we've seen it, and I don't know if at this point now I can expect them to just pull that when the last few weeks have looked like a little bit more of a struggle. I think the Chiefs are a lot more sure of their identity in the postseason. They have become a ground and pound team that's going to win with defense and then let Patrick Mahomes slam the door shut when they need it most, and I think they're going to be able to get that done again.
What about you, Mike Sr.?
I can't make a pick. I'm working the game for Westwood 1, so I'll be working the sideline, so that would be very unprofessional to pick one, so I won't do that.
Of course.
But I do think that this game will be decided on the defensive side of the ball. I know we talk about all the offensive firepower and Pat Mahomes, but I think these defenses have been playing well. Maybe San Francisco against the run, not so much in the playoffs, but I think they can shore that up. So I go defense, gonna control this game.
I'm actually really rooting for, obviously, Kansas City. I'm a Chiefs guy right here.
Yeah.
But when it comes to Kyle Shanahan, I'm really rooting for him as a guy to get over the hump because it almost is Andy Reid-esque, where you were known as this offensive genius for so long, but then all of a sudden you stall out in the big games, and then you get the stigma of, can he ever get it done?
Right, and he just can't get over the hump.
And so for him, I think he's a great head coach. I think once he gets over the hump, the floodgates open, as we've seen with Andy Reid. So I'm kind of rooting for Kyle Shanahan, not in this game, but hopefully going forward.
Kyle and John Lynch, I think, are both under pressure here. They have the best roster in the NFL, but they haven't gotten the brass ring yet. They haven't been at the top of the mountain, so I think they need to close that deal.
Mike Golic Jr., Mike Golic Sr., again, with Sugarlands Distilling Company, the birthday cake sipping cream. I know I'm trying that one on the golf course. Again, does it help me not three-putt, or do you think the three-putts might come out if I start?
I play much better after a whole lot of that stuff.
See, everyone listening, that's what you do. If you're a bad golfer, you get the Sugarlands Distilling Company,
boom,
and you get the
birthday cake
right
sipping
there.
cream, and you will play out of your mind.
Thanks, guys. Really
you
appreciate
got it.
Thank you guys so much.
Thanks. You got it.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Man, I see. As a man who three-putts a lot, I think I really need this to help my game. Might add a couple yards as well. The old driver. What do you think, Malcom?
What's the best score you got in golf?
77.
93 was my best score I got. I played with a buddy.
Actually.
Yeah, I played with a buddy of mine. One of my local media contacts, Matt Lincoln. We played on my birthday, and we actually tied.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very, very competitive. We lost some shots, along the way. We hit some good ones and some bad ones, but it was all clean fun.
Big golf guy. There's actually a PXG setup over there. I've been really trying to hit the sticks over there, but I have blisters on my feet, Malcom. I'm a little nervous. About it? About getting. I don't want to shank one, man. Like all these people around, I don't want to shank one.
I don't think you're gonna shank one.
I don't think so either. But
if you just keep
nerve-wracking.
Just keep your eye, on where your feet are, and just make sure your feet is level where the ball is. Then all you gotta do is just hit it up in the air. That's all you gotta do.
Yeah. By the way, Savannah, thank you for that question about the Taylor Swift stuff. I had no idea that Mike Golic Jr. was as big of a Swiftie. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting. I was concerned that when he said, 1989, that he's going with the Niners, but it sounds like you can't go against Mahomes in the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Question here from Shaun. What are their thoughts on Chris Jones? I apologize as far as their thoughts on Chris Jones, but as far as our thoughts on Chris Jones, you're going to have a lot on his plate, man. He's going to be double-teamed maybe every single play with the occasional triple team. Yep. When you look at Charles Omenihu going down, he was a guy who also won early. When you look at Charles Omenihu, he was a guy who was helping Chris Jones at times get a little more one-on-one action. Now, I love George Karlaftis. But he's not typically known as a guy who wins quick, right?
So
he's a motor guy. No, he's not a Omenihu. They have different styles. So I'm sitting here going, Chris Jones is going to have a great game going up against double and the occasional triple team. But again, I've said since we got here on Sunday, George Karlaftis for me has to be the X factor. He has to win, and he has to win quick.
He has to win the one-on-one matchups. For Kansas City, on the defensive side, to take the pressure off Chris Jones. So that way, Chris Jones won't be triple teamed or double teamed, in the game on Sunday.
Yeah, because when you look at it, I love Mike Dana. Mike Dana's not necessarily a guy that I'm sitting here going, I'm counting on him to make some game-changing plays. I like Mike Dana. Great rotational piece, but now if he's getting thrust into the starting role, because when we saw Charles Omenihu go down, it wasn't just him getting an uptick in snap count. We also saw a massive uptick for Turk Wharton, who's a little bit of an inside-outside guy. Losing Charles Omenihu and the versatility that he possesses, again, going back to that question, I think makes
Turk
Chris
Wharton
Jones
having a big impact for Kansas City, though?
Not really.
So?
I think he's, again, one of those depth pieces, a guy who can play a little bit inside and out. But, again, I don't think I would count on him. If he does, you take that. That's again, with the Golics right there, that's that birthday cake sipping cream. That's the extra. That's the on top. Right.
That's the icing on the cake.
But you're not going to count on that.
Right, exactly.
That's where I'm at right there. Looking to see right now some news around the NFL. Tom Brady says he was surprised Bill Belichick wasn't hired for a head coaching job.
That.
Were you surprised?
I really wasn't. In a sense of, if he doesn't get an assistant coach job.
He's not going to take an assistant coach job. You're not Bill Belichick taking an assistant coach job.
It'll be the first time since 1975 he hasn't had a coaching job.
That is incredible.
Yeah, 1975.
That is
that's a lot.
23 plus 25. That is 48 years.
48 years, in the making if he does not get an assistant coach job, and I don't think he's going to get one.
48 years ago, 1975, you said?
Yeah, 75.
Man, Led Zeppelin was in their prime back
75.
then. I mean, that's how far back you get. The Who,
Yeah.
Rolling Stones.
I just don't see Belichick getting hired by anybody because, because we talked about this all week long, Sterling, that if he gets hired by one team, he's going to want to take over.
Yeah.
And I just don't see teams jumping the gun to get Belichick. Just like Brady, in 2020. Nobody was taking Brady. But the only team that took a chance on him was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I think the issue...
And he won the Super Bowl, too.
I think the issue is with Bill Belichick, he's obviously up there in age. As we mentioned, he's been coaching 48 straight years there.
Right.
He would have to go to a team that's ready to compete and win now.
Yeah.
And the issue is those teams aren't really looking for head coaches.
Right.
So you're sitting here going, is he going to go to an organization that's rebuilding? The only real spot I thought was making some sense was the Chargers because they at least have the quarterback situation figured out, and the roster is fairly talented.
Would you see him get an assistant coaching job there?
No, I don't see him taking an assistant coaching job. I would be beyond shocked.
Yeah.
Also, some news around the NFL. Vast majority of players in the union want to play on natural grass versus turf, according to NFLPA Executive Director Lloyd Howell.
So what's your thoughts on natural turf versus grass? Like, what's your thoughts on that?
I'm going with the players, baby.
You are?
I'm going with the players. 92% of the players' union wants grass. I think the kickers might be the 8% right there. I think the special teamers,
8%.
Those might be the 8% right there.
Yeah.
Because they've had some data now.
Right.
And the data collected by the union showed injuries occurring at a slower rate on natural grass fields as opposed to turf. And I know they've tried this hybrid where it's, and they actually used the hybrid in Germany. But it's just a very unique situation. I know it's difficult. I know places like down here in the southwest corner of the United States, Arizona, Las Vegas, they grow the natural grass outside and move it in, and that's even a little bit of a different style of grass. But at the end of the day,
would that actually help the kicking game in a sense? Natural grass, like for the kickers, just when they place the ball, so that way they have some room to kick, in a sense.
I think turf is what those guys want because the natural progression of grass over the course of a game, it gets marred, it gets cut up. Next thing you know, you might be kicking out of a sand trap. If it's turf, most likely it's going to be great. But again, for the players, that's what we want. We want the players. 92% of the union said they want grass. I think if you're the NFL, you have to go by the wishes of the product of what makes you money.
Right. And the NFL, is $1 billion sports league, just like the NBA, just like the NHL, just like MLB, just like Major League Baseball, just like all the major sports leagues. It's all about the money. Yeah.
Emmitt Smith will be here in just a moment. A couple of questions in the chat I want to get to, or comments if I will. Doug in KC says, or KS, sorry, you're in Kansas, not KC necessarily. I got the stash going. You like it. Thank you, Doug in KC. I appreciate you. And then Savannah saying, hey, I remember Turk absolutely booking it to the sideline, chasing Jalen Hurts in last year's Super Bowl. Whole step up. Yeah, man. Again, love Turk Warden. I hope the best for him. I'm just saying, me personally, I don't know.
You don't see him making an impact.
No, I'm not saying not an impact. I'm just saying I'm not counting on him to do
You're
that.
not relying on him. I got you. Sterling. I get it.
We'll be joined by Emmitt Smith in just a moment here. Man, I always like talking to Emmitt. He is such
love him. I talked to him last year.
Yeah, such a good dude.
He is.
Such an interesting perspective, too, when you talk to let's say it, the greatest running back of all time.
Absolutely.
Especially in an era where it's such a pass-happy league.
Right.
It's interesting getting perspective of guys who
played the running back, played the position, and just picking his brain of, what's the position, like now compared to when he played. That's what I love about that.
Yeah, it's just so unique, so different, and every time you talk to him, just an absolute joy. So he'll be joining us in just a moment.
Can't wait for that.
As far as some more comments on the YouTube. Sports medicine perspective data is clear that natural grass
Here
is
we are
safer.
with Emmitt
I'm
Smith
with
now.
What's up?
you. Emmitt Smith
How you doing,
joining
Emmitt?
us right
Good.
now.
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Awesome.
Good, Emmitt. Doing
Excellent.
very well. I know obviously you're here with Narcan as
Yes.
well. I know it's near and dear personally as well. My mom grew up in a very small town. Every time we go back there, you see signs. Narcan is a very important thing. I think more people need to understand and know about what Narcan is and what it
Yes.
can do.
Yes.
Can you talk more about it, please?
Well, Narcan can actually revive a person that may have suffered an opioid overdose if we get it into them in time enough.
Yeah.
So the nasal spray itself is a very powerful nasal spray that can preserve a person's life. That's the whole mission.
Yeah.
That's why we're talking about opioid overdoses and awareness of this. So with Emergent and myself spreading the word out there that this is something that we all can use or have on us, because we never know when an opioid situation might occur. So
Yeah.
be prepared and being ready to rescue is what we're talking about. That's what this is all about. It's about spreading awareness and making sure that people understand opioid overdose is not necessarily pill form. It can be fentanyl, it can be any of those things, which can hurt anybody accidentally or whatever.
Yeah.
But just being ready for the situation is really what we're trying to equip people with.
Yeah.
Emmitt, I want to ask you, in your career, who was the toughest player that you went up against?
Toughest player, individual player? I would never say there was one individual player, because football is a team sport, and the
Right.
D-line is blocking for the linebackers to get to plays and all that kind of stuff. But for the most part, it was more about defenses.
Yeah.
When I went into a game against the Philadelphia Eagles in the early 90s, like 90, 91, 92, 93, I went into the game knowing that, okay, it's going to be a long day. Forget my expectations of rushing for 100 yards or 125 yards. I got to settle on 70. If I get the 65, 70 mark, that's a win for me.
Right.
And so
Absolutely.
it's teams like that. Even against the Ray Lewis's teams in the early 2000 for me, they were a very good defense. Remind me so much of the Eagles in the early 90s, but they were just as good, if not better. So it was tough defenses. Junior Sal's defenses back in the early 90s was tough to run up against. And so there were teams that were very tough to run up against, but we managed eventually.
That's awesome.
What do you see from Isaiah Pacheco and his running style? It's a little unique.
It's very aggressive.
very aggressive.
He's so fast and he's a downhill runner and is not afraid of contact. And that's a beautiful thing. Now, how long that lasts remain to be seen. And it's about preparation after the game and preserving your body also, which is extremely important for a guy like Pacheco, because how violently he runs with the football.
We got to get you with Isaiah Pacheco.
Yeah.
Your longevity needs to rub off on.
Well, it's all about taking care of your body at that point, and what is he doing to recover? And obviously the workouts and training and everything is a very important aspect of an athlete's career and longevity, but the recovery aspect of it is even more critical.
Yeah.
Absolutely, Emmitt. So I'd love to ask you this. What do the Cowboys need to do to find success in the playoffs?
Well, shit. They need to do better. I mean, like, dang. I mean, that's a question. What they need to do is they need to get it between the ears. It's not about the Cowboys' talent.
Right.
It's not about that. Just like we talking about Narcan, the nasal spray, how people need to be ready instead of getting ready to stay. You got to stay ready versus getting ready. They got to be ready.
Yeah.
They got to be ready to meet the challenge mentally, not physically.
Right.
Because they're very talented. But just having talent does not win the big games.
Right.
Just because you out-talent someone like the Commanders or the Panthers or someone like that,
Right.
doesn't mean that you can go in and dominate against the Packers or the Niners.
Right, exactly.
When a bully hits you back in the mouth, do you have the will to hit them back? And right now, our team has not shown the will to hit a bully in the mouth. And so that's a problem.
Right.
And it's not about your talent.
Right.
It's about you mentally meeting the match that's before you. If that team challenges you at that level, you know what you need to aspire to.
It's about that mindset, you
Yes.
know, as a team, you know, and it's like you said, talent isn't going to win at the end of the day. It's all about defense. Defense wins championships. It's a defensive driven type of type of league in the NFL. Defense. It's all about defenses. If you don't have a defense, you don't have the sustainable running game, or you don't have that sustainable offensive line, you're not going to win.
Right. Well, I agree with you because most teams back in the 90s were built inside out.
Mm-hmm.
D-line, O-line.
Right.
And if you had skilled players like a McCaffrey or Emmitt Smith or Barry Sanders or Curtis Martin or Marshall Faulk, you had those kind of skilled players back there running when you built inside out, and you had those great wide receivers and a quarterback that can sling the ball, Kurt Warner, anyone like that.
Yep.
You made progress. You made tremendous progress, and you put a lot of pressure on opposing defenses, and you created matchup issues all over the football field.
Wow.
And that's what the Cowboys need to do, is take advantage of the talent that it actually has.
Right.
But the talent also have to take advantage of getting mentally prepared and have the desire to want to do something great beyond the game.
I know you got to go. We've talked a few times about this. Just very quickly, we always talk about the NFL being cyclical.
Right
now, it's a pass-happy league.
Yes.
When do you think it goes back to the run? I mean, you're even looking at the 49ers right now. What do they thrive on with CMC in the run game?
Right.
When do you think the run game gets its due yet again?
When they come to realize that some of the quarterbacks that they got in the National Football League ain't worth nothing. It's only a handful of quarterbacks that are really, really worthy to be quarterbacks.
Right.
And so, I mean, every quarterback is not going to be a Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Right.
Every quarterback is not going to be a Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm.
And even though Dak Prescott has proven that he can throw the football,
right,
there's so much more upside with Dak Prescott than there are with some other quarterbacks.
Right.
He's shown that he can lead a team to 12 wins.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
He's shown that he can overcome adversity.
Yep.
And bounce back.
Mm-hmm.
He's shown that he can read coverages.
Yeah.
He's shown that he can be a complete quarterback. Now, can he take it to the next level? Yes, he can. There's some that they've already tapped out, and they can't go to the next level.
Yeah.
I'm looking for Josh Allen now to take it to the next level. Can he become that elite quarterback versus trying to be Lamar Jackson all the time? You know, that kind of stuff. Can Lamar become a better passer?
Yeah.
And read coverages a lot better and help his team become better.
Right.
Those are areas of improvements for guys like that.
Right.
And so Mahomes, he got it on lock.
Emmitt
He got it on lock.
Emmitt Smith here on Stag in the Box. Thanks so much, Emmitt, for your time today.
Thank you. Y'all be good.
Man, always great talking with you.
Great
So
talking to you,
insightful. Again, everyone go check out Emergent Narcan. Very, very important.
Right now, that's Drew Brees. He's one of the biggest.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he is.
Smart.
Yes. Drew Brees is coming.
See, there we go.
There you go.
He could run with it.
Yes, he can.
It worked out.
It worked out. It definitely did. Oh, yes, indeedy.
That was always fun.
Always fun to talk to Emmitt.
You're talking about how the game is cyclical, right? And yeah, we got some. These are awesome. What's
These
this
are
over
awesome.
Here?
This is cool.
Brock Purdy, FedEx Air Info Player of the Year.
Christian McCaffrey, FedEx Ground
NFL Player of the Year. Oh man, they got both air
gosh.
and ground.
Oh wow.
Both San Fran
Damn,
though.
guys.
We might have to take this up with
Yeah.
with Drew on this one.
Yeah, we do.
Man, this is such a fun show. I love when Emmitt Smith stops by. We'll be joined by Drew Brees, obviously, in just a moment.
Just a moment too. Emmitt Smith was fun to talk to. Amazing.
He is such a intellectual savant of the game of football.
Yeah.
Emmitt Smith is. I mean, his perspective again is so unique.
Yeah, it's very unique, very refreshing.
I am shocked he didn't go into coaching more in the NFL because I have no idea how you would not want to run through a brick wall for Emmitt Smith. I have no idea how you wouldn't do that. Getting joined now by Drew Brees.
What's up, guys? How we doing?
What's up, Drew? How are you?
I'm great. You?
Awesome.
I love this over here. These
I'm
massive
thinking
trophies.
These are massive.
Have you picked them up? They're heavy too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I
Base on
can.
this baby. Yeah.
I don't want to drop it. I'd feel bad, Drew. Obviously,
Yeah.
Drew's here with FedEx. We got Christian McCaffrey, Ground Player of the Year.
That's right.
Brock Purdy, Air Player of the Year.
Yeah, that's the big announcement. First time ever that teammates have been the respective FedEx Air and Ground Players of the Year. So maybe that's foreshadowing for the game. I don't know. We'll see. But I had the great pleasure of being able to win the FedEx Air Player of the Year award 4 times. So I've got 4 of these in my office. They look good. They look good. I see them every day. But no, it's a great program that FedEx does. In addition, as part of this, both Brock and Christian will receive $20,000 to donate to the HBCU of their choice, to go to scholarship funds to very deserving students. So that's a great thing.
Hey, Drew, I would love to ask your thoughts on Aiden O'Connell, who went to Purdue. What was your impressions of him this season?
I was really happy for him. His journey at Purdue, he was at Purdue for 6 years, red shirt, medical red shirt. He was in a bunch of situations where he was a backup. All of a sudden the starter got hurt. He got his opportunity, and then maybe he got hurt, right? So it was kind of an up and down career from the perspective of just a lot of adversity. And then I remember the game that he came into. I was actually broadcasting it back in 2021, where Purdue was at Notre Dame. He came in at the end of the game when we were down, almost led us back, and then he ended up starting every game after that and had a phenomenal junior season, and then obviously his senior season we win the Big Ten West. We go to the Big Ten championship game, and I couldn't be more happy for a guy like that, just based on his journey. He's got great leadership ability. He's overcome so much, and I think like you saw a lot of that maturity with the way that he played this year, and certainly there was I think some tough moments for the Raiders this year, but man, once Antonio Pierce took over, you just felt like it was a different team. It was a different culture, and they rallied around the coach, but they also rallied around the quarterback.
With Brock Purdy in the Super Bowl here, there's been a lot of talk. Is he elite? Is he getting carried by the scheme? Obviously, you don't put up those numbers without having something you do extremely well, as we're seeing right here, right?
Yeah.
What does Brock Purdy do that makes him so special, that even though he might not have the arm strength of a Mahomes, that he might not have the running ability of a Lamar, he always finds ways to get it done?
Yeah, it's exactly that. Look, there's a system that's in place, and our job as the quarterback is to operate the system and operate it at the highest level. And that system is a version of the West Coast offense. Shanahan, we ran a version of the West Coast offense, so I understand the philosophies around it. A lot of times the pass game is an extension of the run game. The ball gets out of your hand with timing and rhythm, right? There's reads and progressions. Man, we're not going to take sacks. We're going to get the ball out to our playmakers in space, and they've got a lot of them, right?
Yeah.
Right.
At times it's very much ball control, but always with the big playmaking ability down the field. I think what's impressed me with Brock is, number one, his knowledge of the system, the timing and rhythm of his feet. Watch his feet at all times. He's coming off a play action fake, man. His eyes and his feet are to that first progression on this skinny post in and around the backer, and if it's not there, then he's kicking the ball out to McCaffrey. The ability to handle all the shifts and motions that offense does, right? The thing that most impressed me about Brock, and I think maybe he didn't get enough credit for, was in this last game, he ran for 3 critical first downs in that game. Huge plays in that game that were really the turning point and defining moments offensively for them in that game, in my opinion. And that's not really his forte, and yet it was needed, and he did it.
Man, Drew, speaking of Brock Purdy, I would love to ask you, do you see similarities in Brock Purdy's game to yours as well?
Yeah, I saw a video recently where he was talking about modeling his game after me, which is obviously very, very flattering. I think obviously being undersized guys, being a bit of an underdog, chip on the shoulder, but you just have to play the game a little bit different. There's a premium on finding throwing lanes because we're not 6'5", right? We're not seeing over the line. We got to create our own lanes at times. Your trust and anticipation with the way that you throw the ball, because you're not the strongest arm guy, right? The rhythm that you create with your feet, right? At the end of the day, what do you want at the quarterback position? You want great leaders, you want guys with poise and intellect, and you just want guys that are competitive and love to win. And he fits all those traits.
On the other side here, Patrick Mahomes, he's so unique. I mean, what he's done since he's come to the NFL has been spectacular. When you watch him, first off, do you ever see some of the throws he makes? You're like, dude, you shouldn't be doing those throws as a great quarterback, right? You're sitting here going, Mahomes, what are you doing? That. What are your thoughts on Patrick?
So, I first time I saw him play, I was like, he's a baseball player, right? I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like all the guys who played baseball, especially if you played shortstop or, you're used to dropping down and throwing sidearm. It's actually the fastest way to get the ball out of your hand is to throw sidearm, believe it or not. So if you got, that's why you always see infielders turning two, right?
Yeah.
Well, that comes in handy playing quarterback, right? I mean, there's times where you really got to change your arm angle in order to find windows and get the ball through the line of scrimmage. A lot of times it looks like he's just having fun.
Yeah.
And it's like playing backyard ball. It's like, I'm going to look over here, get you leaning, and I'm going to throw it over here. And I may not even look over there when I throw it, But to me, that screams confidence, right? It also screams, man, I've been doing this a long time. I'm a multi-sport athlete, right?
Nice.
Yeah.
Like, I know how to do this, right? and I know I can do it, right? And even if it doesn't work, guess what? I'm going to come back next play and try it again.
What young receivers in today's game, Drew, do you wish you could have thrown to?
Oh, man. There's a bunch of good ones out there. I mean, if we're just looking at these championship games, I mean, Deebo Samuel's such a unique talent, right? Because it's like anywhere you put him on the field, he's a threat, right? You could just be handing the ball in the backfield. Obviously, they try to, get it to him in space as much as they can. But run after the catch, I don't know if I've seen a guy like that. He's remarkable. Amon-Ra St. Brown, I love watching him play. There's just a competitiveness to him, right? And even though he's kind of undersized and, like as a slot guy, you just love guys who know how to work the middle of the field. I mean, there's so many, but Rice is obviously having a heck of a rookie season. There's a bunch of good ones out there.
Obviously, you won Super Bowl MVP, right? What's it feel like now back here at a Super Bowl on the other side of things? You're now on Radio Row, a little different feeling, huh? But do you still have those? You know what? I think I could go out there. And maybe give the team a little something here.
Talking about playing?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, as a former player, and you've been there, you've won on the highest stage. Don't you still have some of those feelings come back?
Yeah, no, you do. Like even moments like now, you're sitting here saying, okay, it's a Thursday. All right, what would I be doing in the week of preparation? Right, today's a third down day, right? So I'd be studying their third down nickel packages, their nickel pressure packages. I'd be visualizing, where I'm going with the ball versus this, what play am I checking into to try to get that big play. Right. I mean, all that stuff is still, you're just wired. You can't get rid of that. Yeah.
Next year, the Super Bowl is in New Orleans. What do I need to do in order to get to New Orleans out of Orleans next year?
That'll be a good one next year. New Orleans knows how to throw a party, you know? They know how to put on a Super Bowl. So it's going to be a wild one. Let's just try to get the Saints in that thing.
Yeah.
Huh? That's what we need.
I've never been to New Orleans.
Really?
No, I haven't. Like in all my years of being a journalist, I've never been to the Crest City. I would love to.
You like oysters?
I love oysters.
All right. Charbroiled oysters at Drago's.
Yes.
All right. You got like a shrimp po' boy?
Yes, I love shrimp po' boy.
Crawfish etouffee?
Absolutely.
Catfish at Chafalaya?
Yep.
Huh? All right, man. We're gonna take beignets. We're gonna take care of you down there. All right.
Awesome, Drew.
And get you some small sliders.
Before we get out of here, Malcom, you got something to give to Drew.
I got something I want to give you, Drew. I have a special sweater for you.
Oh yeah. Oh man, this is awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, Special Olympics. They launched this campaign. It's called "Yeah, I Am Special," and the organization is working hard to erase the stigma that is associated with the word special. Drew, we really appreciate your time here. Thank you so much.
Appreciate your time today, Drew.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thanks for coming on today.
And
all right,
make
guys.
sure you don't drop these bad boys.
No. Hey, these things are heavy now. All right.
Also, precious cargo.
That's right.
Shout out to FedEx as well. These are sweet.
You lift weights with them.
Yeah, I feel like I need one just like Sterling Holmes.
Yeah.
What would yours say on there?
I would say smooth. Smooth on there. Smooth. Yeah, smooth as my nickname on there, and then it just says smooth FedEx ground quarterback of the year, or smooth FedEx quarterback of the year.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Oh man, we got Saquon coming up next.
Next right now.
Awesome.
Oh, I can't wait to talk to him.
It's been a great morning already,
Yeah,
huh?
it's been phenomenal so far.
From Mike Golic Sr. and Jr. to Emmitt Smith to Drew Brees.
and now Saquon Barkley.
You a big crawfish guy?
I love crawfish.
Yeah, me too. Big crawfish etouffee man myself.
Yeah, I love crawfish etouffee. Are you a shrimp po' boy kind of guy?
Not a huge shrimp guy. Not a huge shrimp guy.
What
not
about
gonna lie.
beignets?
Big beignet guy.
I love beignets.
I
man.
can get down with some beignets.
I can get down with some beignets. What about New Orleans sites? Like French Quarter. Are you a big French Quarter kind of guy?
I don't know, man. I love French food.
Yeah.
I love French food. I love French
Cajun.
drink.
Yep.
I love Cajun food.
I love Cajun food.
Yeah, you know
New
what
Orleans
I think.
next year's gonna. I can't wait to see what New Orleans has to offer next year. And like Drew said, I love how he said he's like, New Orleans loves to throw a party, and he's like, he'll take care of me next year when I'm in New Orleans. So I can't wait.
I'm still almost a little shocked we talked to Drew Brees because I'm not gonna lie to you. Growing up, that was probably my favorite quarterback.
Really?
As a man who's 5'10".
Yeah.
He's obviously taller than me, a little
Yeah.
bigger than me. But again, as an undersized guy, you look up to guys who maybe a little bit more like you, right?
Yeah.
And so for Drew Brees,
Drew Brees was one of my favorite QBs growing up too. I loved watching Drew Brees when he was with when he played at Purdue, when he played with the Chargers and Saints.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's just
I loved how he was able to dissect defenses so well, and I love the fact that I loved his response when he said, when I asked him what young receiver in the game today he would love to throw to, he said St. Brown of the Lions.
yeah. I mean,
Wow.
I think I would too. I think
Yeah.
I'm on St. Brown, which is also a little interesting as he brought that up too. I think he still has that almost, I don't want to say chip on your shoulder because that's
Yeah.
one of my least favorite cliches in sports.
Right.
But like, he still brought up again. Drew Brees brought up how he's undersized as a quarterback.
Right.
Then he brought up how Amon-Ra St. Brown is
Brown.
not the biggest guy. He's a little undersized.
Guys
So
as well.
he still brings it up, and it's fun seeing the comparisons even years after he retired, still being a part of who he is. Cool.
Yeah. If you ask me that question, the receiver I would love to throw to, I would love to throw to Deebo Samuel.
Yeah, I mean, Deebo can do a little bit of
Everything.
Of
I would
everything.
love to throw to him.
I'd like handing the ball off so I don't get hit. How about that?
Right. Who would you hand the ball off to?
I'll hand it off to Saquon, who's going to be coming up next.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I think Saquon's.
I would hand the ball to Isaiah Pacheco, honestly. Like, just hand it off to him, and just let him do his thing.
Yeah. Man, that was so much fun.
That was fun.
Man.
Oh, good. That Drew Brees was a joy. Was phenomenal to talk to. I mean, just man, and the trophies he had, for the FedEx ground and passing, Players of the Year. Them things are huge. I can lift those things, man. I mean, I'm strong. I do a lot.
You are
of
strong, Malcolm.
Yeah,
you're
strong.
a yoked man.
Yeah, I play basketball, so that would actually benefit me.
Yeah. For me, I'd be nervous. I was going to drop it on my toe.
Oh, you'd be nervous.
Yeah, picking those things up, I didn't want to drop that on my toe.
Right.
Would have been a little scared
You
there.
would. You would be skirmishing in pain.
I would be.
Yeah.
I would be. A couple comments here. Let's get to. It was Manning, Brees, McNair, Culpepper, Warner. That era was awesome. Well, we'll be talking to Kurt Warner a little bit later on today. So, Shaun, stay tuned for that.
Shaun. Thanks for that.
Here from Savannah says, all right, so Saquon went to Penn State. They just hired Andrew. I'm gonna blow that name. Andrew K. from Kansas to be their new OC. Curious what Saquon thinks he would do in that offense. It's a great question. Might have a chance to get to that one. It's going to be tough. Don't know how much Saquon will know about KU football. Probably not a lot.
Not a lot about KU football. I doubt
He might not know a few guys.
Nah, he probably don't.
And as a Mizzou guy, I don't know if I don't want the answer of that.
Right.
He's going to be a great fit.
Right,
it's going to make me sad,
yeah,
man.
it's gonna make you a little nervous though, Shaun, a little bit. I can tell.
It's going to make me a little nervous. Are you a college fan at all? Do you have a team that you like?
My team, believe it or not, has to be the University of Texas.
Really?
I like our team, man, and I really think what Steve Sarkisian has done with that program is phenomenal. Archman is gonna come in and win right away in the SEC. So
sounds like a Texas fan.
Yeah,
you sound like a Texas fan.
I do.
But believing that all of a sudden everything's going to be fixed and Texas is going all the way, huh?
Exactly.
You sound like a Texas fan. I like that.
They'll turn it around. They'll turn it around under Sark. And I know in the SEC it's going to be tough, but they played in the Big 12 last year. It kind of prepared them to be in the SEC. So. They're going to get their chance to play Alabama. They're going to get a chance to play Georgia. They're going to get a chance to play Oklahoma. They're going to get a chance to play Florida. I'm telling you, they're prepared.
I hope for your sake
that I'm right.
No. I hope for your sake it goes well.
It goes well, but it's tough.
As a Mizzou fan, sorry, pal.
You don't think it's
sorry, pal.
You don't think it's going to happen?
I think that's Texas fan talk right there. Of the Texas fans are a little bit like Chargers fans, I think.
You think so?
Yeah, where the offseason's great, then the regular season comes around and it's not quite as good as you think.
But we'll see what happens in the regular season, though, sir. We'll see.
All right, we have Saquon Barkley, running back for the Giants, walking up right now. Saquon, how are you?
How are you, Saquon?
I am doing great. Right to it. I love it.
I know that's what we're doing. We know you're a busy man.
Yeah.
We know you got a lot of things going on.
We know you got a lot of things going on, so thank you for taking some time for us today.
No, thank you guys for having me. I'm excited.
I know you're obviously doing stuff right now with Silk's Feel Plenty Good Challenge in January. You got the tofu touchdown smoothie.
Yeah, tofu touchdown smoothie, the smoothie. That was part of the Feel Plenty Good Challenge. Was able to create a smoothie that got great nutrients in it, delicious. Way to start your day, way to start your breakfast, easy. I think breakfast is overcomplicated. People think of athletes or football players, you think of loaded carbs, meats. It's not always about that. And I was able to participate in the challenge, and I could see the direct correlation it had to how I felt physically with my body. I'm all about putting great things in your body and doing stuff that's authentic and real.
I was going to say, I think people see you and go, I want to do what he's doing. They see his body, they see the quads, and they're like, yeah, you know what, maybe this would help. And yeah, this is the healthiest thing I've ever seen. This is the healthiest thing I've ever.
But it tastes good.
Oh, I believe it.
A lot of people, sometimes you miss with being healthy and you lose the taste of it. You lose it being delicious, and it's very delicious. Yeah.
Are you more almond milk or oat milk?
Silk,
baby. That's Silk, Malcom.
Yeah, Silk.
I would love to get your thoughts on the running back position. Is it different? How different is it, in the running back position, as a player? What's unique about the running back position?
Yeah, it's all about being instinctive. You gotta react. You gotta understand the scheme. You gotta understand what the defense is trying to do. Know who your offense and tight end and wide receivers is blocking. Know what's your rules, and then you can go out there and react. That's why I tend to see I have my better games when I don't have to think too much, when I can go out there and I was like, okay, I can see just something I saw in film, look, and I know exactly where it's going to hit, and I can go out there and play free. So running back position is a tough position, like any position in the NFL. The NFL is a tough sport, it's a physical sport, but I love it. I love getting paid to play a child sport where, I get the football and grown men that are 300 pounds are trying to hit me as hard as they can.
You're obviously a phenomenal pass catcher as well. Is that a little better for you? Maybe fewer hits?
No, I mean, I tend to be. I think I've grown and developed in my game, especially over the last 2 years of being, a better inside runner. Felt like I always was really good, but it was more of popping off the big explosive runs. Now focus on taking what the defense give me and get them dirty, hard runs. But I'm pretty good in space. I think that's why I was able to get drafted so high, and that's where a lot of my success comes. So when you're catching the ball, majority of times you're put in space with a defender, and I think that's where my God-given ability takes over.
So, Saquon, as a kid, were there running backs that you idolized?
Yeah, I never was allowed to idolize anyone. My father, Ali Bey, never really allowed me to do that. But I'll say fans. I'm fans of Curtis Martin, New York Jets running back. Fourth. He was fourth. Frank Gore passed him of all time in rushing. Barry Sanders is the greatest running back of all time, in my opinion. The greatest football player with a rock in his hand. All around running back, I'm going to go Walter, because catching, blocking. He was able to do all of those. But those three guys are the first one that comes to my mind. And Emmitt Smith, he was over there earlier. I mean, the career holder in rushing yards and touchdowns in the NFL. I think I'd be doing injustice if I didn't put him in my top.
Yeah, we always talk with him, and I love bringing this up with him because when he played, the running back position was the prime position, right?
Yeah.
That was the position that was highly paid, all this. But we always talk about how it's cyclical, right? How the running back position is cyclical. Do you see it coming back fairly soon to be in a position of a very high value? Because you look in the Super Bowl right now, CMC is that guy. He's the engine that makes that 49ers offense go. Obviously, Mahomes on the other side, but you look at Isaiah Pacheco. He's the engine at times. They were struggling this year. Look at Pacheco. He's now the engine that turned that offense around. Do you see the NFL being cyclical and eventually going back to having the running back as this massively prime position?
I think it's there right now. It's just the narrative you want to create.
Yeah.
That was the trend last year with running backs getting paid, and it's all recency bias. A lot of some of the guys that got paid in recent years either had an injury, got caught with a little injury bug, or didn't have the same level of success that they had in prior years. But that's every position. That's every year. The NFL's hard. That's why it's rare to see guys consistently doing year after year after year. It's a challenge. It's a challenge to do that. But yeah, I do believe it's recency bias. The running back is a key dominant position. San Fran Christian's a focal point of why. They're in the Super Bowl. Not to my own horn, the year we went to the playoffs, I was a big focal point of that. And even in this year, we had a lot of injuries. We had to play with some backup quarterbacks, and when I was able to get things going in the run game and making plays, we were able to win some games, and it opens up everything.
What's the toughest part about transitioning from college as a running back to the NFL today?
The toughest part, I would say, is just in college. My coach Huff, he always try to prepare me to think like a pro. So I always had to step up there because I had a great coach. But it's just understanding the scheme, understanding not just running inside zone, like knowing who we're blocking on inside zone, or not just running outside zone, knowing like, all right, who's the read on outside zone. That's probably the biggest thing. You can get away in college of just reacting because you're probably the best player on the field or most athletic player on the field. Don't get like that in the NFL, and they get faster and stronger and better every year. So you got to be a little more. You got to have a little more education on the game and on the mental side of it.
What does a week-to-week look like basis in the NFL for you and a running back, obviously, because you mentioned you take a lot of hits. You get the rock 20, 30 times a game. You are getting beat up game in and game out. Then you have to get ready next Sunday to do it all over again. What does a week look like for you, just the process of getting ready for that?
Yeah, it's all about getting the right things in your body right from the start. Giving your body time to recover. Also getting an active recovery in, meaning getting the lift in, getting a workout in, and then build throughout the week. Stay on your training, stay on your regimen. I have so many doctors, so many PTs, so many massage, all that good stuff. I invest in my body a lot. So that's really the week. Started off right after the game. How can I get right back? And it's weird, there's games you can touch the ball 8 times and be more sore than you touch the ball 30 times. It all depends on the team you play. All depends on just the nature of the game. It's really weird. But
hardest hitting team then?
Hardest hitting team last year was the Houston Texans. For
really?
some strange reason, they were like, I remember the first couple of plays. I was like, I ended up having a really good game, and I had like a lot of rushing yards. But I remember I was just like, those boys came to play today. They're hitting. So that's like the first team that came to my mind last year.
Obviously, Saquon Barkley is here with Silk. By the way, Silk is very good. I actually use it myself. My fiance uses it as well. We love Silk. And make sure you check out Saquon's Tofu Touchdown Smoothie. You want to look like Saquon? You can't, but this might help at least a little bit. Saquon, really appreciate it, man.
Really appreciate you taking a chance to chat with us today.
No, thank you guys. Thank you. I had fun.
Thanks, man. Hey, good luck next year as well.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Thanks, man. Saquon Barkley right there. I'm not going to lie, this tofu smoothie looks pretty darn good. Almond milk, banana, frozen pineapple, spinach. Tell you right now, that would for sure be the healthiest thing I have ever eaten. Oh.
Ready for Maxx Crosby.
Maxx Crosby now
How we
with
doing?
maybe the greatest shirt I have ever seen.
I'm loving the shirt, Maxx.
I appreciate it, brother.
That's
Absolutely.
phenomenal.
Thank you.
Obviously, you're here with Papa John's as
Yep.
well. What are you doing, your partnership with Papa John's?
Yeah, you can go to Vegas-style pizza at papajohns.com. We have a pizza of $58,000 in cash. You got to enter on that website to have a chance to win. You have it up until the 9th. So Papa John's a great partner, and you definitely got to sign up and give yourself a chance to get some cold hard cash.
Love that.
Is it the worst case scenario that it's the Niners and Chiefs?
Honestly, it is what it is. At the end of the day, they've earned the right to be there. It's respect at the end of the day. We obviously don't like them, but it is what it is. Gives us more motivation. For us, we want to be in those type of games. So it just adds more fuel to the fire.
Right.
As far as Antonio Pierce, man, the team just completely rallied around him. I have not seen this at all with an interim head coach before. What does he bring to the table? Why do the players galvanize around him?
When you give it, you come out right out the gate. He's obviously been there for 2 years, but I mean, when he stepped into the role and got in front of the whole team, everything is black and white. There's no gray area with him, and so guys immediately attract to that because he was in our position. He played at the highest level. Started in the NFL, was a captain, Super Bowl champ. So he knows what it's like to be in our shoes, and at the same time, he's done it at a high level as a coach as well. So, he's done it all. Everything he's done, he does at a high level. And people can say whatever they want, talk about experience and things like that, but everybody's got to start somewhere. So we fully believe in him, and I think we're going to shock a lot of people next year, without a question.
Hey, Maxx, I would love to ask you, toughest player this season, offensive lineman you had to go up against this season.
This season, I would say Panay Sewell. Probably it was like literally heavyweight match from start to finish. Me and him were going back and forth the whole game. And when you got a guy like that, those are the matchups you look forward to. People are hyping it up all week, and I live for those moments. So me and him, I'm sure he would say the same thing. But we went at it. It was amazing for sure.
Who's harder to bring down in the NFL? A guy like Lamar Jackson, who's very shifty, very quick. A Josh Allen, who's bigger body. Mahomes, who always seems to get a sneak away from pressure. How do you adjust your game going up against different style quarterbacks to bring down?
I mean, it's just about it's about us at the end of the day. As rushers, you have to be under control. You have to be able to consistently be around the quarterback. So. It's repetition. It's every single day. There's all different types of quarterbacks, like a Lamar Jackson. He's super quick, but he's lighter. Josh Allen's big as hell and fast. So I'd probably say like the toughest one is probably Mahomes and Josh Allen. As far as trying to get down, Mahomes not going to give up on a play, and he's like deceivingly athletic, and he's shifty. So, and a guy like Josh, like he's like a DN playing quarterback. So, guys like that are just they're unique in their own way.
Your Mount Rushmore of players, Maxx.
Mount Rushmore, my top 4?
Yeah.
All time?
Yeah.
I would say you got to put Reggie White, Lawrence Taylor, Deion Sanders, and Barry Sanders.
Awesome.
I find this very interesting. We do a lot of stuff with Chiefs, obviously. Every single Chiefs fan I've ever talked to loves you. The fact that you have the respect of all these fans around the NFL, regardless of team, it's transcending. You don't have that with hardly any other player, with any other team. What does that mean to you, having the respect that you've garnered that from literally all 32 fan bases?
It means the world. I came into this league wanting to be in a position that I'm in. And the thing is I'm the farthest thing from satisfied. I know there's another level I can be at. I know this is only the beginning for me. So it's ultimate respect. I know when every team in my division is constantly tweeting me on a daily basis, talking mess and things like that, that means I'm doing my job. Because if they didn't hate me, then it means that I'm not doing enough to piss them off. So it really, it's ultimate respect. And, it is what it is. For me, I want to be able, I've talked about it before, but I want every quarterback, every running back, every O-lineman, when they go into an interview, when they're asked who's the guy you hate playing against the most, I want to be that answer every time. So I definitely still have work to do, but it's only the beginning. It gives me more motivation. I love what I do. Like, this is the only thing on earth I'd rather, I want to be doing. I've dreamed about it since I was a kid, and I've put in the work, to get here. I've had to earn everything I've got. So I'm beyond grateful. And I come from, I was a 2-star recruit, had one offer. and had to work for everything I have. So now that I'm here, I still, I understand what it took to get here, so it makes you appreciate it more.
I want to get you out on this, Maxx. Chiefs and Niners. Who's your X factor outside of Purdy and Holmes and Mahomes?
I like that. Yeah, I think it really, both really good teams. Both great defense. We don't talk about the Chiefs' defense, enough because of all, Kelsey and Mahomes. They get most of the shine, but their defense has been great all year. So honestly, I think it really comes down to who rushes the passer more effectively. For the Chiefs, you got Chris Jones, one of the best 3 techs of our generation.
Yep.
Karlaftis has had a big year. A lot of guys that can go. Mike Dana, another Matt guy. He was at Central Michigan when I was at Eastern. Hell of a player, doesn't get talked about enough. They got some guys that can go. So I expect the Chiefs to get after it up front, but also, I mean, you look at the Niners, they're loaded up front. So Bosa, one of the best in the league. You got Armstead, Hargrave. I mean, they just got 8 guys that can start on any team. So it's really going to come down to, who takes over the line. And honestly, I expect Chris Jones to have a monster game and be the maker and get like a strip sack and in a crucial moment.
And that's what I was saying, Chris Jones. I'm like, Chris Jones is going to make an impact.
No doubt.
I was saying that like it just came to mind to me.
All right, before I let you go,
that.
final thing here. Do you remember your first career sack?
Of course.
Do you know who it was against?
Yeah, Chase Daniel in London versus Chicago. My 5th game of my career, my first start. So, or actually, it was after that game was my first start, but that was like the second game. I started like I went out there and I majority of the game. So
Chase Daniel,
Chase Daniel,
Missouri quarterback.
Yeah, former Mizzou quarterback. He actually went to South Lake Carroll, a rival of mine in high school. So I've known about Chase Daniel. He's older than me, so I've seen. I was a young kid, but I've seen him. He was like a superstar in high school.
I went to Mizzou, so I knew that answer right there.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Hey, Maxx, really appreciate the time, man. Also, shout out to Papa John's. Favorite pizza? What's your go-to?
My go-to, I know it's probably going to rub people or make people look at me a little bit sideways, but I get mushrooms, onions, sausage, chicken, Alfredo sauce, thin crust. Don't judge me.
Awesome,
Hey, Maxx Crosby, man, really,
hey,
good luck to you, man. Thank you. Really appreciate it, Maxx. Oh, that's great. That's a wild pizza order. Wild pizza order.
What toppings would you have on yours?
I'm a pepperoni man. I have different styles. Pepperoni and jalapeno. I actually have a TM. Pepperoni, jalapeno, pineapple. I call it Honolulu Hot Lips.
Yep.
You like that?
Yep.
A TM.
Mine would be pepperoni, bacon, Alfredo sauce, and barbecue chicken.
That's also a good one. Sometimes I get a little frisky with it and go Greek with it. Sometimes I get the Kalamata olives, the green olives.
Exactly.
It's really good.
It is.
Man,
Maxx Crosby was amazing. Can't wait to do Shaun Alexander coming up next.
I absolutely love talking to Maxx Crosby. I talked to him about 2 weeks ago. And that guy is the epitome of old school Raider football.
Yeah.
But you respect the heck out of that guy. I respect Maxx Crosby so much, and I know everyone in the chat as well. They all like Maxx Crosby.
Absolutely.
They all respect Maxx Crosby. I know a lot of y'all in the chat, some of these questions I have asked before, so that's why I did not bring them up. I brought up the whole Mahomes rivalry in the past, what that means with him. If you want to check that out, that's actually on a previous iteration of Stacking the Box. You can look on the YouTube. I think Richard's going to link the chat right there, so wanted to kind of switch the questions up with him. But he talks about the rivalry with Kansas City in that one, as well as Patrick Mahomes. Looks like we'll be joined by Shaun Alexander in just a moment
here.
Man, big running back day.
Yeah.
Big day for running backs on the show. What do you say about that?
Oh, that's amazing.
Hey,
Shaun,
Shaun, how are you?
Good, no doubt. Y'all doing well?
We're
Very,
doing,
very
doing,
well.
We're doing
Good,
amazing.
good.
I know you are here with Stand Together Foundation, a organization committed to breaking the cycle of poverty in America by driving change from within communities. Can you talk about this more?
Man, I have partnered for the last 5 years now with Stand Together Foundation. Just a wonderful group of people, about 800 of some of the most successful businessmen, women, and philanthropic leaders in the country. And they've put their money, they've put their talent, they've put their leadership skills to just tackling some of our country's biggest issues. And I've just been, so fortunate to be a part of what they're doing with Cafe Momentum. And that's the restaurant in Dallas that they left from, we say, business as usual and made all of the employees, almost all of them, kids in the juvenile justice system. And so these kids, instead of going to juvie, they jump into a year program with Chad and his team, and they learn all the ins and outs of the business, from being a sous chef to the cook to the greeters to the management team. But he also added to them the secret sauce. He put social workers and psychologists, tutors, and you're just seeing all these kids gain identity. I told him, I said, Chad, you just put all the aunties and uncles around. That's what you did. You know what I mean? Everybody show when aunties and uncles show up, you know. And what's happening is recidivism in most cities is about 45 to 50%. That means you go back to prison after your teenage years. With Cafe Momentum, it's 11%. So we know just about 9 out of every 10 kids will never go back to prison. They'll become healthy, successful citizens in our great country, and they'll go make impacts in their families and communities, and that's what we're all about. So I told Chad, let's put one in every NFL city. He took that big gulp and was like, let's go. And so with start off in Dallas, we now have one in Pittsburgh. We now have one in Nashville. Denver Broncos jumped in, so Denver will open up this year. The Falcons have jumped in, so Atlanta will be one next year. We got set up for Houston, Tampa, and Miami for 2025. We've already been talking with LA, and you know how quick things move in LA. It could be 24, it could be 25. You know, so we're excited, but we're doing the thing that we always dreamed could happen is take the whole country and what Cafe Momentum is doing and change the lives of thousands of people in our country.
Man, Shaun, I would love to ask you, why is it so hard for a running back to win MVP?
Well, it really ain't, you know. I think winning the MVP is always about the player that's dominating the game.
Right.
And so I just believe that if you dominate the game, you can. And so clearly Christian McCaffrey has that opportunity.
Yeah.
He will touch the ball enough. He can touch it in the air and on the ground. I think 100-yard, 2-touchdown running back always has a shot. And so you don't score the touchdown, then you're not going to get it. So he has to score touchdowns, but he has the position that's fit to do that, you know, all across the field, because they allow him to, have the greatest moment in football, which is the touchdown.
We have a lot of Chiefs fans that obviously listen to us. You broke Priest Holmes' record, right? That was hard for me growing up.
Yeah.
I grew up in Kansas City. My last name's Holmes. I'm like, yeah, Priest, and then all of a sudden, Shaun Alexander getting it done. Did you have that as a goal in mind? Was that just it was a goal?
It was. You know, one of my favorite running backs is Barry Sanders. Yeah. And I've got some friends that live in Michigan, and they love Detroit. And I just looked at it, at the beginning of my career, was like, 99 touchdowns. Okay, so I need to get to 100. And so that was the goal. It was like, man, how fast can I get to 100? And so I know in those 5 years, I scored 99 touchdowns in 5 years. And so, I crossed over that 100, that MVP season, because I had 4, I think 2 or 4 in my rookie year. And then Ricky Waters got hurt, and then it became my show, and I just took over there. But everybody has different things that drive them. Some of it's the roar of the crowd. Some of it's I get my mom a house. Yeah. For me, there was just something about scoring touchdowns that it moved me. Like, I wanted to be a person that, I still call it the greatest part of football, you know what I mean? I want to be a person that the dad would put his arm around his son and say, you remember we saw that Alexander make that play?
Yep.
I want girls to be like, oh, man, yeah. You know what I mean? I was that guy. Like, it makes everybody stop and see what happens. And I wanted to be in the focal point of that. And so that was touchdowns,
Is there a running back today that reminds you of yourself?
It's really funny. Not as much as it was, I felt, a few years ago. There's some running backs that have got great balance, great they can catch the ball and they can break runs. But I haven't really thought about it compared to me. I know that when I first retired, that was always the question. And so I remember like Shady McCoy, I was like, oh, that's that guy. I like him, how he plays, that they're just not as big as I was. I forgot the guy that was at the Steelers for all the time and then went to the Jets. I just forgot his name. But there was a handful of running backs that did what I did. It was a stop and start, explode through the hole. But most of the guys today are like 200, 205 pounds.
Right.
I was 225 and a little bit taller. And so it looked a little bit different. But when I watch around, I'm like, oh, I know what you're doing. Y'all doing that Eric Dickerson. Not Eric Dickerson, that Tony Dorsett. I mean, most of my runs, if you watch me, you'd be like, oh, it's a bigger version of Tony Dorsett.
Absolutely.
And so when I see guys doing it a little smaller, I'm like, oh, they doing that,
Do you ever wish you would have played now in 2023, 2024? Obviously you did have a lot of receptions earlier on in your career as well. You'd be getting even more. Again, your style would be a complete different style.
Yeah.
Right? It's like Derrick Henry, but also add the pass catching ability into it. Would you ever think about that playing in today's era?
When I start off, I was catching the ball so much that it was just building up carries and touches.
Yeah.
And so they had to figure out how to do it. So they said, well, maybe if we take him out of certain situations, he went through. So I was a great safety valve, throw a 2-yard pass and goes for 60 yards, but they knew they had to find ways to not have so many touches. And so I had to finally agree with that.
Shaun Alexander, man, really do appreciate it. Again, Stand Together Foundation, Cafe Momentum.
Yeah.
We got to get one in Kansas City.
Yeah, it's going to be great, man. We're doing some really cool stuff in Kansas City also. The care portal is going to be amazing there. And I'll say if you guys want to look up anybody in Kansas City want to check it out, go to cafemomentum.org/Super Bowl.
Super Bowl.
And come check
Super Bowl.
us out. Yep, come check us out.
Awesome, Shaun. Really do appreciate
Excellent,
it.
y'all. Bless you guys.
Thanks for breaking my heart and breaking it when I was a younger man with Brees Holmes.
Matt 07, you know what I mean?
Yes.
I love Matt.
I will see y'all later.
Hey, take it easy.
Take it easy, Shaun. Thanks.
Shaun Alexander. I think Kurt Warner is coming up next. Oh, man.
Wow.
I need to get into this bingo blitz thing that he's coming up. I'm excited to talk about it.
Talk to Kurt Warner.
Another guy that broke my heart out as a kid because as a Kansas City guy, St. Louis,
Yeah.
it's hard for me. Now I wonder
what about Larry Johnson? He was a running back for you guys also. Don't forget about Larry Johnson.
He didn't break my heart. I love Larry Johnson. Well, he kind of did towards the end of his career. Then the whole money thing. All right, joined now by Kurt Warner.
How we doing?
Awesome, Kurt.
Phenomenal.
Awesome. Good to see you guys.
Obviously, Kurt Warner, Big Game Blitz. This is pretty darn cool. Bingo Blitz is going to offer $1 million to a lucky gamer if the record number of sacks is broken.
I love it.
February 11th.
Well, I'm not playing in the game, so I hope the record for sacks is broken. I would never wanted it against me, so that's
hard for you.
That's why I'm promoting it right now. But I don't know about you guys. I played bingo growing up. Did you guys play bingo growing up?
Oh yeah.
I used to go to the church, and there was nothing better than having that bingo moment where you get it, you screaming bingo, you get to take home $25 or whatever it is. But I feel so much about Super Bowl is like that. Yeah. Somebody's got a bingo moment every year. I was fortunate to have my bingo moment. Unfortunately, I helped some other guys have their bingo moment, so that wasn't great. But we're going to have somebody have a bingo moment or some guys in this game. But so we tied it into Vegas, my background, those bingo moments. So download the Bingo Blitz free app, sign up for a free account, and then if one of these defenses breaks that record, 8 sacks in the Super Bowl, 7 has happened 4 times in the Super Bowl, but 8 sacks happens, then somebody at home gets their bingo moment. They get to raise that card and win $1 million. So having fun with it, taking the Las Vegas theme. But hopefully, again, not that I'm wishing these guys to get sacked 8 times, but hopefully somebody goes home with that bingo moment.
Which team would it be? Who do you think has the better odds?
I could see it both ways. I mean, because you got the 49ers who we know can get after the quarterback, although, Patrick's so good. But I could see that happen. I could see that the Chiefs defense is really good too. And so if the 49ers are down late and they got to throw the football, they've got some guys, 2 really good defenses. That's the crazy thing is that, you look at it sometimes and go, is that really possible? Well, 8 sacks has happened at least 5 times this season. Yeah. And I think we got 2 good defenses that have a chance to do it. So, you never know. I hope somebody has that moment.
Awesome, Kurt. When you were bagging groceries 30 years ago, did you ever think that they would make a movie about you?
No, of course not. When I was begging, when I was stocking shelves and doing that sort of thing, you never think about that sort of thing. At that time it was just like, I just want another shot to play in the league. I just want a chance. And the crazy thing about it is that, for so much of my journey, I would have traded my journey with anybody else. Like, I want a different story. I don't want to, have to go through, these different things. And now it's funny that I look back on it now and I go, man, I love that I've got a story that nobody else has. Right. That I've got a journey, that they were able to make a movie about me that's been able to inspire and encourage a lot of people. So it's crazy how life works sometimes. You don't you have a plan and the way you want it to play out, but sometimes another plan is a little bit better.
Yeah, you waited and all of a sudden it's the greatest show on turf.
Yes, it was some good times, some fun moments, that's for sure.
Can you walk us through those teams? Because those were, at least for me, the first Super Bowl I remember.
Yep.
Was you.
Okay.
So congratulations. You're in my memory now.
Sure, I love it.
First ever Super Bowl win, obviously. But what were those teams like? I mean, they were so spectacular. You guys were breaking records. So fun. And quite frankly, it almost ushered in a new era of football, if you will.
I mean, that's kind of how I feel. I think that's how we feel as a team. That was kind of exciting about it, is that, it was fun for us to play, but we showed people you can play the game differently. Before that, it was more about running the football and throwing when you had to, and we kind of said, hey, you can throw to win. Like, you can have fun, and you can spread it out, and you can do this fun and exciting brand of football and still win football games and win championships. And so I think you're very much right that the NFL we see now was kind of ushered in by what we did. Now they've changed some rules. They've made it a little bit easier for those offenses. But it's more exciting. It's fun. It's fun to watch the ball being thrown all over the place and big plays being made all over. And so I think we take great pride in not only what we were able to accomplish, but the fact that we did show kind of the world and the league that there's another way to do it. There's a fun way to do it that doesn't mean you just have to hand the football off. And, it has morphed into what the game is now.
Talk about the Iowa connection with you and Brock Purdy, Kurt.
Well, a little Iowa connection, a little Arizona connection. He grew up in Arizona.
Yeah.
So I've known about him, and I've known him for a couple years now. And then, as you said, the Iowa connection. There's always a great connection when you have people from Iowa. Iowa's so great. Great values, great people. I didn't like Iowa State when I was growing up, though. I was a Hawkeye fan.
Right.
But you pull for, guys that whether it's the Arizona kid, I'm pulling for him, whether it's the Iowa kid, whether it's the guy that was drafted late, like the undrafted guy. I mean, there's so many different connections and reasons why I'm pulling for Brock. He's been great in his 2 years. I want to celebrate what he's accomplished. I don't know why we have to keep trying to put him in a bottle and say, well, he's not a lead or whatever. He's been great for 2 years. He's in the Super Bowl. Celebrate his journey because, again, I think there's a lot of people out there that say, well, I'm never going to be as fast as Lamar Jackson or I'm not going to be as big as Josh Allen. So can I play this game? Can I do it? And Brock's going, hey, I'll hold the torch for all you guys that aren't as talented, that aren't as fast, that aren't as big, and say, you can still accomplish your dreams. You can still get to the Super Bowl and do those sorts of things. So I love that we have different storylines. We have different guys, different backgrounds of guys that are playing at the highest level and playing in this Super Bowl and, kind of going back to the theme. I hope they all have their bingo moment. I hope Brock has an unbelievable game and kind of set himself apart in this one.
In regards to the other side here, Patrick Mahomes has been here multiple times now. He keeps finding ways to get it done. All of a sudden, he turns it on in the playoffs. Regular season, a little bit of a struggle this year. We're all wondering what's going on. Playoffs come around, 0 turnover-worthy throws, taking care of the football. How much of that just comes with being here time and time again, how he understands that maybe the regular season that can be more aggressive, might be an interception, playoff time, that ain't going to happen.
Well, it's about playing your best football in those moments, and it's about understanding what you need to do for your team. And I think that's maybe been the most impressive thing about Patrick is that here's a guy that set all the records. Here's a guy that's used to throwing the ball all over. He's used to scoring 30 points a game, and now you say, hey, we just need you to score 20 and don't make any mistakes. To change that mentality, I mean, I was a gunslinger. I threw a lot of interceptions. I didn't care. I was going to pressure the defense. That's how I played. And so, when somebody tells you got to pull back now and you got to play differently, that's a big, shift in the mindset. But Patrick's been great. He's made the plays he's supposed to make, but he understands, hey, it's okay to punt.
It's okay for the defense to be the star in this game, and that's not always an easy thing because we all have egos, right?
Yeah.
We all want to be the star. I want to be the reason that we win, and Patrick has kind of taken a back seat to that, and it's been really impressive to watch because when you have great players that understand and can win a lot of different ways, you know, you sit back and go, man, how are we ever going to, like, you know, if he can win by not turning the ball over, he can win by making no-look passes, he can win by throwing for 400 yards or win by throwing for 200. It just makes it harder and harder on all those other guys that are going, okay, how are we going to knock this guy down? How are we going to knock him off that pedestal?
It's an amoeba, and you just change.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to get you out on this, Kurt. I want to ask you, who was a team or a player that was really difficult to go up against in your career?
Oh, gosh. I mean, that's easy. For me, it was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The great defense with Warren Sapp, Derek Brooks, John Lynch, Rondé Barber. I mean, all those Hall of Famers going against us. And, you know, it was the one team that I always struggled with. You know, they had the ability on all three levels to beat you. So if you couldn't block Warren Sapp, it fed right into what those guys did on the back end. And so if there was one team that I would never want to face again, it would be that Tampa Bay Bucs defense.
Before we get you out of here, Bingo Blitz, one more time, where can folks go?
Okay, just you can just download the Bingo Blitz app wherever you get your apps. Sign up for the free accounts, free app, sign up for the free account, and that's all you really have to do. And then it comes down to cheering for these defenses to get 8 sacks. One of these teams to get 8 sacks, set the Super Bowl record, and then one lucky account holder is going to win $1 million.
And Malcolm has something
Kurt,
for you.
I love it.
I have a special little sweater for you.
I love it. I appreciate you guys. Appreciate what you do. God bless you guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Kurt.
Again, Special Olympics launched the Yeah, I Am special campaign. The organization is working hard to erase the stigma that is associated with the word special. Man, that's fun. Kurt Warner is
Kurt Warner
awesome.
was a lot of fun to talk to.
Again, it's true. That was the first Super Bowl I remembered. The greatest show on turf. That was my formative years watching football. Kurt was a big part. Again, he was a guy that transformed the game. It's actually been funny. I almost wish I would have asked, do you and Emmitt Smith ever butt heads, right? Kind of wondering, you know, you kind of took the mantle away from the running backs there. That'd have been
Osborn
good.
coming up now, Sterling.
KJ Osborn coming up right now. KJ, how you doing?
KJ?
No, we'll get you on quick. See, you weren't even ready right there.
I'm great, man. How you guys doing? Thanks for having me.
Absolutely,
doing really
KJ,
well,
it's a
man.
pleasure.
Well, we got to get you going because, you know, you're always filling in. You're a guy that has to step up, and you always step up in big ways.
Right.
It seems like in every single big moment, you're a guy that is coming down with the football. What makes you so good in these big-time moments?
I mean, I think practice, you know, just my preparation. In the offseason, I put myself, you know, in those moments. And, you know, just repetition. You know, today is what, 2/8/24. I'm a big Kobe guy. You know, so that, you know, that Mamba mentality got to kick in. And, you know, throughout my career, I've seen that, you know, Kurt, he was coming to me in those big moments, you know, ever since my second year and I first stepped in. So I kind of started becoming, you know, that guy. So when that time comes around, you know, no matter if I've got a catch or two, I know it might be coming, so I try to get ready for it.
Before we talk more football here, I know you're also brought to us by Sleep Number. What are you doing with Sleep Number?
Oh, man, I've had a partnership with Sleep Number for a couple years now, and it's been wonderful, man. I told him that I'm the perfect guy for the brand. You know, sometimes you get some marketing deals, you know, you're talking about something that you don't really believe in, and you got to sell it. But I am a true, you know, believer in my sleep. And my recovery, you know, I check my Sleep Number every morning, you know, and my sleep score, you know, what it's done for me and how it affects my performance. And, you know, recovery is just truly big for me. You know, I try to get my recovery after every practice. You know, I'm a guy getting massages and acupuncture and all types of things like that. But, you know, sleep, you know, is the top dog out of all of those things. So it's something that I truly, that's super important for me. And, you know, Sleep Number is the perfect brand for me.
Shifting gears back to football, KJ, what makes Kirk Cousins such a great leader on the team?
Oh, man, his on-the-field and off-the-field presence. I mean, Kirk's, you know, on-the-field presence is already, you know, it speaks for itself, you know, if you see his numbers and seeing that thing that he does. But, I mean, the Netflix series came out, and I think other people really got to see the true guy that he really is, even off the field. I mean, his leadership, you know, Kirk, he took the whole offense. You know, we hopped on the PJ. He took us to his hometown, you know, show us where he grew up, you know, just things like that. He brought us back those type of things, make you want to play for a guy like that. You know what I'm saying? It only speaks to his leadership more. And, so we do get on the field, his preparation. Like I always say, Kirk's preparation, makes me want to prepare more. How smart he is, how much he loves the game. And all that practice and that preparation that he does, you see it play off on Sunday.
I love that series Quarterback on Netflix. I watched all eight episodes of that series.
Yeah, it was awesome. I got so many texts about it, and I'm just like, is Kirk really like that? I'm like, I wish everybody could be around him, man. He's such a joy to be around.
Down 33-0 at halftime.
Mm-hmm.
What is going through your mind? I mean, you're sitting there like, man, this sucks. We get here, and what's the thought? Then how do you turn it around? And obviously, you were a big part. 10 receptions, 157 yards, a touchdown. How do you find the will to come back from that?
Man, it was a crazy game because we had been playing so well. That year we were playing so well, and that 33-0 lead just happened so quickly. With some turnovers, some fumbles, and some interceptions. So and next thing you know, we look up too, and it's like what was it, 12 o'clock on a Saturday or 1 o'clock, and we like, damn, we down 33-0. It's only halftime. So personally, for myself, I always tell the story that there was a time where Justin went down. So we already getting our butts kicked. Now Justin went down, and everybody knows Justin Jefferson. I always joke, I'm like, that's like our savior of Minnesota. So when I tell the story, when Justin went down, I felt like the whole stadium just like was in tears because it's like that's our Justin Jefferson. We're already down 33-0. So I'm like, man, I got to make a play. Or we're going to get ran out of here.
Yeah.
So at that moment, personally, I just tried to, I moved to the X where Justin was playing. So I'm like, I know the ball is going to be coming. And I just tried to, just will us back. And, at that point, it was just a pride thing. They talk about don't look at the scoreboard, just play. Next thing you know, we were back in that game, and we were able to get it done.
Your Mount Rushmore KJ of wide receivers of all time.
Oh, man, of how many? Like 4 or 5? Top four?
Yeah.
Jay Rice.
Uh-huh.
Randy Moss.
Yep.
Now the next couple you got to think about.
It gets tough, man.
You
have the top two.
Right.
Like, okay, well, who am I moving off? Who am I going with?
Yeah, who you going with?
Because I like Larry Fitzgerald.
Yeah.
Calvin Johnson.
Yeah.
Oh, Calvin Johnson.
So I guess that's the top four. At that top, but I think it's always that fourth, fifth spot. I mean, so many people could you could put in that Chris Carter. There's so many so many guys that you can name. I personally think Antonio Brown's one of the best receivers ever.
Wow.
So it's all types of guys you can put there.
All right, you're not just a great player on the field, but also a great dude off it. For people that don't know, you helped save someone from a burning car. Can you walk us through?
Yeah.
How you I mean, this is crazy to me. Like,
so I was in Austin, Texas, and I was headed home, and there was a car, to my right. My Uber driver just started screaming, and I'm like, what is this guy screaming about? I don't see anybody on the street. Yeah. And to my right, it was a car that was on fire, and my Uber driver pulled over, and he's handing me the phone like, call 911. I'm like, man, I've never been to Austin, Texas. I wouldn't be able to tell him where we're at. Yeah. So I'm like, you get it. I was like, we got to go to this guy. So we both stopped. My Uber driver, Abdul, he was the first one, ran up to the car, no fear. The car was burning in flames. And, myself, Arthur, Rita, and a couple others that was with us, we were eventually able to go out and help pull Nelson out of the vehicle and, obviously save his life. And it's been, super a blessing, just telling that story. I had them all up for a game in Minnesota. They were able to, see the facilities and, come on the field pregame. And I told them that night, and I said, I want to let you guys know, I'm an NFL player, and this story is going to blow up. So I said, we took a picture because I'm like, I want you guys to be able to get the love and, that, you guys are heroes, what I'm saying? So they were able to come to Minnesota, and it was a great time.
That's quickly awesome. Before we get you out of here, KJ, Chiefs, Niners, who you got?
One, I don't really care who wins. I don't care who wins, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Chiefs win again, man. I honestly wouldn't be surprised. I mean, Pat Mahomes, how can you deny him, what he's been doing? Everybody thought the Ravens were going. They doubted the Chiefs, all year long. They talked about all the different problems that they had, and somehow they're still here.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if the Chiefs pull it off.
KJ,
but I have a lot of friends on the 49ers, so I'd be happy to see them do something as well. So I'm just a fan watching at this point.
Do you have any expectations as you head into free agency, a new step in your chapter?
Right.
Do you have some priorities you have laid out?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of priorities that I have laid out with my team. You know, we're discussing it. I'm excited for it, man. First time going through it, so you know, I'm taking a day at a time. But you know, when that time's come, you know, I'll be ready.
Hey, good luck, man.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Good luck, KJ Osborn with
KJ
sleep
Osborn,
number.
thanks for your
By the
time.
way, I need a sleep number. I think I need that, man.
No, seriously, it's life changing.
Yeah, I know.
It's life changing.
As a dude with a bad back.
I'm spoiled now. I'm spoiled.
Hey, thank you, man. Really do appreciate
Thanks,
it.
KJ.
Thank you so much. Hey, take it easy. That's KJ Osborn, wide receiver with the Vikings. We'll see where he ends up. I would say I wouldn't mind a little KJ and KC, huh?
All right.
KJ and KC has a nice little ring to it. I'm going to get out with you, Malcolm, for a moment. I'm getting out. You know who's coming in? Patrick Dang Allen. Patrick. Swing through, pal.
I'm here for relief. Thanks for keeping my chair warm.
All right.
Appreciate you.
Yep. Yep. Next up, we got Alex Singleton and Vince Egan. We're gonna talk about Special Olympics School of Strength here in a matter of moments.
What's up, Malcolm?
What's up, Patrick?
How you doing today, brother?
Awesome, Patrick.
How's it been going this morning?
It's been going excellent. What's up, Vince? What's up, Alex?
What's up? What's up, fellas? How's it going? Welcome in, Patrick,
Welcome
Malcolm. How you guys doing?
How you guys doing?
Good.
You gotta share this one, Vince.
Oh, man.
You can hold it.
Okay. So this is awesome, man. Obviously, you know, fan side to here, we're doing our unified reporting with Special Olympics. Malcolm, our guys, our unified reporter, has been here for the second year in a row with us on Radio Row. You guys are doing the School of Strength campaign. Tell us a little bit about that.
Just Snack Zone started in I think December. I decided to get on there to speak about nutrition, talk about portions, eating better, like let's say like pretzels and peanut butter are my favorite snack. Yeah.
I'm a big peanut butter guy myself.
Me too.
Can't go wrong with peanut butter.
Yeah, peanut butter's awesome.
Favorite healthy snack after a workout?
Ooh, after the protein shake, I'm
Yeah.
going favorite healthy snack. See, I'm very, very boring. I do chicken and rice and beef all the time.
What about you, Vince?
I go and get some nice chicken, a little bit, some rice, but not much rice. I eat more chicken.
That's good portion control.
Yeah.
And that's what the snack zone's all about, is knowing your portions and knowing what to do.
Why is it so important for Special Olympics athletes to be healthy when it comes to the School of Strength? Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, everyone's an athlete. And so you should treat your body how, you know, an athlete should, you know. And I think, you know, nutrition is the one thing you can do 24/7. It's the only thing that, you know, if, you know, you have a little setback, it can hurt you. You know, you can't work out for 24 hours a day. You can't train 24 hours a day. You can't watch film 24 hours a day. You can't play basketball 24 hours a day. But the one thing you can do is, you know, have the right meals, eat the right foods, know your portion controls and all that. And, you know, because the biggest thing I took from this, you know, nutrition campaign is, you know, 60% of Special Olympics athletes are either obese or overweight. And I think, you know, that's just not fair to the athletes. So to, you know, for Special Olympics to put this campaign on and be able to go, hey, here's a playbook, here's a guideline on how to break that, how to get this percent down, and, you know, give the participants, give the athletes the bodies and the health that they deserve to be able to compete as long as they want.
Incredible.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Incredible.
So, Alex, you know all about overcoming obstacles, which we know a lot of Special Olympics athletes have to overcome when they're competing. You came into the league undrafted. You were cut a few times. You went to the CFL for a while. Then you've returned to the NFL with the Eagles and eventually finding a home with the Denver Broncos. Congratulations on your contract, by the way.
Thank you.
How did you keep yourself motivated to continue chasing your NFL dream?
Yeah, you know, I would say the biggest thing was my family. You know, they let me keep coming home and chase the dream, kept training. And so, you know, the fact, you know, my mom would come to the airport, you know, 2, 3, 4 times a week. And in LA, going to LAX is not an easy trip. That's a real pain to go to that airport. So, I would say for them. And then, for me, it was just kind of keeping that mindset. If they're going to be in my corner, there's no reason I can't and shouldn't give 100, 110% every single day to, make this come true. And then when I got the opportunity to go to Canada, it was kind of all eggs in the basket. We'll see what happens. I'm going to go there for 3 years and kind of give it my all. And yeah, then I did and got to come back to Philadelphia. And that was, kind of where the NFL started. But, if it just would have been a CFL career, I would have, been over the moon because, I was playing football for a living.
Yeah. So, Alex, you have a sister, Ashley, who does special Olympics in Southern California. Talk a little bit about that connection with you and your sister, Ashley.
Yeah. So it's my big sister, Ashley, and so she's been a Special Olympics athlete for 25 years. So my entire life, I've been a fan of, my sister competing in Special Olympics. So to me, that's where I get like my passion and love for sports is, watching her friends, her fellow competitors compete. I think Special Olympics, that's the one thing it's taught me with, my career and just playing football, even from a young age, was one, to give it everything I have and to play with a smile. Because I think, playing sports is the greatest thing we can do. So even, at the NFL level, I think to still be able to play that way is 100% from her and just seeing the way she competes in sports, every week, even to this day.
You said Ashley's your big sister?
Oh, yeah.
Did watching her compete as an athlete inspire you as you were following your own athletic career?
Oh, 100%. It's the reason I play with a smile on my face. It's the reason I enjoy every day that I get to play because, just seeing, the struggles she had to go through and the struggles, she does go through, on a soccer field, in a swimming pool, all that stuff. So to be where I'm at, it would be, a detriment to myself in my career to not go at that same mindset to every single day that I'm playing football.
Absolutely.
Hey Vince, I want to ask you, what sports do you do in Special Olympics? And if you had to choose one of the sports that you participate in, which one's your favorite?
So I play basketball, soccer, flag football, and golf. And my favorite sport of all time is golf, and I would choose that over any other sport.
Why golf?
It's very challenging to play on the golf course. Having the patience to play that sport takes a lot. Yeah.
Malcolm's also a basketball player.
I'm also a basketball player.
He plays power forward. What position do you play?
So, what was the question again?
I play basketball for Special Olympics. What position do you play?
I'm usually the one that tries to grab the ball, so mainly like a forward, sometimes point guard. So
we need to get a hoop here, a little
yeah.
one-on-one.
So
we're gonna have to.
So basically, you and me play the same position, basically.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely. So Alex, I wanted to ask you. You faced this Chiefs team this season. What makes their offense so hard to stop?
They got a pretty decent guy at quarterback.
He's okay.
He's an okay guy. I would say, we say it all the time in our meetings. So they have the original play, and you might be able to stop that, but then they improvise and they kind of run a backyard football play after that. So we always say you got to stop the first play and then the second play in one play. And so that's what I think makes them, pretty deadly in the pass game. And then I think this year their run game has really stepped up a ton. And I think Pacheco, in his second year in the league, has played even better than he did as a rookie. So, that helps a lot. And so they have a full dynamic offense. That kind of took a few weeks for them to get in the rhythm, and they have been for, the last 5 or 6 weeks. And they're playing really good football.
Yeah, the Chiefs are hoping to win some more hardware this year at the Super Bowl. Vince, I see you've got a lot of hardware and medals
yourself. Talk about your medals that you have.
So the gold one is from Austria in 2017, and then the silver and the bronze are in golf.
Did you just casually say you have a gold from Austria 2017?
Wow.
So I got in the Super G. It was awesome doing that. Great opportunity to get to be chosen from my state, but also to represent the U.S. And it was the coolest thing ever to go to that. Yeah.
Are those medals heavy?
Oh, yeah. They're pretty heavy. They're pretty heavy.
I have medals myself as well. I got a I won a medal at the USA Games. I was part of the Unified Challenge where I was with Miss Alaska's Emma Broyles. Her brother does Special Olympics in Alaska, and I got medals in there. I got a unified basketball medal last year. My unified basketball team went undefeated. We won 7-0 last year, and so I have a lot of medals in my 18 years as a Special Olympics athlete.
Nice.
We just got 1 more minute left with you guys, so really quickly, I'd love to get both of your predictions for Sunday. Who's going to win? And one more time, let folks know where they can find out more about School of Strength.
I mean, since I can't choose the Chiefs, everyone should know who I'm going for. So I would say the most important thing for us this week is School of Strength, Snack Zone, and to go to specialolympics.org/snack zone. You can find it all, the playbook, the recipes, portion controls. You can watch the fun videos we got to create and see what we do. But yeah, I'm not cheering for the Chiefs, I can tell you that.
I understand.
How about you, Vince?
I want the Chiefs to win. It's going to be a close game. It'll be a defensive game, I think. It's going to be a great game.
Absolutely. You guys are going to have to talk. He's rooting for the Chiefs. You need to set him straight.
We already started talking about a jersey swap.
Okay. All right.
I like
well,
that.
fellas, appreciate you coming by.
Appreciate you,
Good to
Alex.
meet you, Alex. Good to
Thank
meet you,
you.
Vince.
Thanks, Vince.
Good to meet you, too.
Best of luck.
Oh, yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah, that was Alex Singleton of the
And
Denver
Vince
Broncos.
Egan of Special Olympics, Colorado.
Yeah, very cool, man. I love seeing Special Olympics athletes and pro athletes working together.
I love
and
that.
doing good things.
I love that tandem and that collaboration, between the two.
That's what it's all about. That's what we're doing here.
Absolutely.
And as you always point out, showing it's really important to show people, what abilities you have and that you can.
Right, and what superpowers you have,
Yeah, your
and
superpowers.
how you can overcome them.
Absolutely. Coming up here in a little bit, we've got Ihmir Smith-Marsette. What's up, man?
What's
I'm about
up?
to get a mic.
Ihmir, how you doing?
Ihmir,
Patrick
how are you?
and
I'm
Malcom.
good.
Malcom is our Special Olympics athlete. We're doing unified reporting here with Fansided, so he's
What's
been
up?
with us for a couple years on
My
Radio
guy.
Row. And yeah, man, we're happy to have you.
We're happy to have you today.
Let us know.
I'm happy to be here.
Who are you here working with?
What you mean?
Are you working with anybody? Like just out there doing the
Yeah,
rounds? All right, man,
yeah.
cool.
All right, cool.
So obviously, I got a lot of questions for you. I'm a Chiefs fan. I know you're not on the Chiefs anymore. I'm a little bit bummed out about that.
Yeah.
But you got added to the Chiefs practice squad last year and ultimately got to become part of that Super Bowl run.
Mhm.
What was your impression of the Kansas City's organizational culture?
Shoot, they know how to win. It was something. It was basically like when the opportunity presented itself, it was like a no-brainer. You get to get a chance or opportunity to go play with one of probably the best quarterback to probably ever touch the pigskin. So it's just like you go there with an offensive-minded, guru like Andy Reid, and it's just like you don't say no to that, especially at the wide receiver position. So I was definitely glad that opportunity presented itself, and that's where I wanted to be.
Absolutely.
I'd love to ask you, what's the most exciting stadium to play in as a player?
It's some cool stadiums I done played in. Minnesota on Thursdays is absolutely electric. Shoot, hopefully the Panthers, stadium turns up, but it's beautiful to play in the Panther Stadium. I like that stadium a lot. So yeah, but I'm probably gonna go Minnesota on Thursday nights. That's something that's really different.
Nice.
And Kansas City's probably dope too. AFC. If you make it to the AFC Conference Championship and Arrowhead, it's crazy.
I wanted to ask you about the preseason with the Chiefs because you really showed out. You played really well in the preseason. You made a lot of nice splash plays. I think there was a deep wide receiver room. A lot of Chiefs fans were hoping that you would make the final roster, and you ended up getting traded to Carolina. So obviously you were on the bubble, but you had done enough to show not only the Chiefs but the rest of the league you belong out there playing on a regular basis. What did the Chiefs tell you when they let you know that they were going to trade you?
When I was the day before cut day, I was chilling, playing a game, and I felt like I went out there and I made the best of every opportunity. So I was just sitting there thinking, hopefully, why not be one of those people where it's like they're gonna give me a shot. So I was just sitting there thinking, maybe I was created that opportunity for myself, and then
when the night before I got the call from Brett Veach, he told me that, you set yourself up to not just play in this league, but contribute to a team right now. And he told me that he liked everything I did, how I came to work every day, and just showed up. So I did that, and I heard that, and I was just like, he's right. And he never hashed out a possibility of coming back in the future and stuff. So, I mean, it was just like, this is what he thinks best for the Chiefs at this moment. And you never know. You don't rule out something in the future where it could work out where we back again. So, I respected the move that they made, and just allowed me to go out there and get another opportunity somewhere else and actually contribute. So I thank them for that one.
Yeah. What's the best piece of advice you ever received as a player in football?
The best thing I could probably say is I done heard so much, but just take it day by day, because the way this game plays out is you never know what's going to happen. So just take it day by day and enjoy the process. The process is something that everybody's going through, and some other people's processes are faster than others. So just stay in your process and appreciate everything that you do in day-to-day life.
Now, I mentioned I'm a Chiefs fan myself, so I watched all your preseason games, and then I was bummed when you got traded, but I was happy for you. And then I'm watching you during the season, and I see you get a return for a touchdown. I think that was in a primetime game too, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
And I was
Thursday
like, dang
night.
it, man, we should have kept this guy. Did Chiefs fans, when you went to Carolina, did you find that they were still supporting you and cheering you on?
Yeah, definitely. When you have good games and stuff like that, you always get those messages that say, "Oh man, we wish we would have kept you," and stuff like that. Good job, you're doing your thing, but we miss you over here. So it's exciting to get those type messages where you just feel love from another place. You was able to get the opportunity and show what you're worth. You get what I'm saying? So it's just it's always cool getting those messages from fans saying, we miss you and stuff like that. So I appreciate that.
Is there a player or a team that was tough to go up against for you? And if so, which one?
A player or a team? Probably the Cowboys. Most of my family are Cowboys fans, so we got to play them, and it's just I know my family's probably going for the Cowboys, but really going for me because I'm out there doing my thing, getting to live out my dream. But it's just it's probably the Cowboys, so it's always fun doing that.
Yeah. So another receiver that you played with when you were in Kansas City, Rashee Rice, broke out kind of as the season went on. He's a rookie, was learning everything. As somebody who played with him, what do you think makes him unique as a wide receiver? And could you see it back in camp?
Yeah, definitely. He was physical. He's able to make every contested catch, and he's a strong body. He's not somebody you're gonna bully out there, and he just got that dog in him. Bro's gonna do what it do to make a play, and he's never gonna quit no matter how many times they go at him. He's always going to be there to make a play, and his confidence is unwavering. So I've been there with him, and I didn't see him literally hey, we going back to you for, we going back to you for, we going back to you, and he's can't come through. So he's a dog, man. He got that dog in him.
Nice. I want to ask you about your thoughts on the game on Sunday, Chiefs and 49ers. You got an X factor outside of Brock Purdy or Patrick Mahomes?
Isaiah Pacheco, man. New Jersey guy, man. My dog, that's my brother. So, I'm always going for Pop. I always want Pop to win. We come from the same state, and it's not too many of us coming out this state that's doing what we're doing right now. And so, the X factor, I believe, is if they get Pop going early, it's gonna be a long game.
Yeah. They say he runs like he's mad at the ground.
Man, Pop run like he mad at everybody in his way.
Yeah,
so don't be in his way.
As a returner, returning punts especially, as a fan, when I'm watching my team, when everybody's punting the ball, I'm always terrified. I feel like it's one of the hardest things to do in the game. You're trying to watch to see, do I have room to actually make this? Do I need the fair catch? Then you got to catch it. Those guys are jawing at you, trying to make you job it.
Right.
How do you do that, man? How do you make that split-second decision where you got to track the ball, you don't want to muff it, you're trying to avoid a hit immediately. It's insane.
In college, I will always remember my coach saying, time is distance. So, if that ball sits up forever, you can count in your head how many seconds is going. If you can 1, 2, instead of just being able to react, you might want to fair catch that one where you got to think. You get what I'm saying? And then if you get one that's not as high, that's going to turn over real well, it's usually a traditional punt, then you could get under it. You know you might be able to get it in your hands fast enough, make somebody miss real quick. And it's just those split seconds that you just practice and you work on, whether or not if you're going to catch it, if you got enough time to make moves. You put yourself through those high-pressure situations, and it makes it easier when you go out there on Sundays because the more you react and do in practice, the better off it's going to show up in the game without no hesitation.
Do you have a favorite sports team outside of football?
Do I have a favorite sports team outside of football? The Iowa women's basketball team is my favorite. I like Caitlin Clark.
Awesome. Pretty good.
She's
amazing.
She's just lining them up from half court, man, on the logo.
It's crazy.
She's cold-blooded.
Man,
yeah, she's cold-blooded.
She's a female Steph Curry.
Yeah, yep, she is.
Yeah, it's quite a scene to see.
All right, so, I want to ask you a little bit about Dave Toub. Obviously, you worked a little bit with in Kansas City. Sometimes Chiefs fans get mad because they feel like the punt returners they'll return a ball inside the 5, and a lot of times you hear hey, put your heels on the 10-yard line and don't back up, that they'll do it. How does Dave Toub coach that? Is it the players doing it, or is he coaching it to be aggressive?
To be honest, he put people out there that's going to be fearless. 1, 2, if you think you can do it, why not go for it? But because let's be honest, the offense is quite strong, so they got a lot of faith in 15. So it's if you feel like you can make something happen when you catch the ball, then make something happen. But ultimately, at the end of the day, be smart about it. Don't take too many chances because as the football game goes on, you don't really get that many chances. So you don't want to keep starting inside your 5 or your 10. So he just tell you be smart, take it when it's there, and if you're gonna take it, just take it and be do your thing with it. Just don't cause too many problems.
Right.
So we'll be cool.
Do you have a favorite restaurant in Charlotte?
Favorite restaurant in Charlotte? I don't even know. I haven't really gone out to eat there that much. Not yet, at least. I went to STK once. I like that. I'm gonna probably go STK.
Awesome.
How far away do you feel Carolina is? Obviously, not a lot of wins this season. Kind of a rebuilding team. You had a young quarterback, dealt with an injury and all that stuff. But also provided you with an opportunity to get on the field a little bit, show what you could do, not just as a returner, but as a receiver. How far away do you think that team is from turning the corner, and do you think your role will expand?
I definitely believe, we close. We got the talent to go out there and put something together. It's just going to take time of everybody, just coming in and coming as a collective and agreeing that, we're not going to take nothing this year. And then just going out there and actually, fighting and battling for each other and, trying to work hard for your coach and just prove to them that you want to go out there and play ball. So I feel like we're right around the corner, and it's a few pieces. I pray my role expand. I just want to go out there and prove each week in and week out that, I can be one of the best players in this league, and it just take time and opportunity. And every time I feel like I've gone out there, I've been able to show that I belong in this game, and I'm never going to shy away from the moment. So I believe I can take that next step, and I'm ready to do that.
You're one of those guys that just always seems to make a play whenever you get an opportunity.
Right.
And I've been watching sports a long time, and those are always the guys I'm like, give that guy the ball more.
Yeah, just give me a chance. All I need is a chance. So
I've been watching sports for a long time too.
Yeah, facts. All I need is a chance.
All right, so growing up, who was your favorite wide receiver?
Deshaun Jackson, without a doubt. It was my dog.
Yeah? Is there anybody you model your game after?
Growing up, I ain't gonna lie, I had a chance to go either defense or offense in college, right? You asked me, why do I want to play offense? I told you because I want to make touchdowns. I just always remember Deshaun Jackson being cool going into the end zone, so I want to make touchdowns.
Your Mount Rushmore of players all time.
All time? Mm-hmm. Mount Rushmore of players all time. Let's see. Deshaun Jackson's got to be in there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go Isaiah Pacheco, New Jersey.
Nice.
Jabril Peppers, New Jersey. And then me, New Jersey.
It's the Jersey Rushmore.
It's the Jersey Rushmore, man.
They're going to start construction on it next week. All right, we know you got to get out of here. Let's get your final score prediction on Sunday. How's this one going to shake out?
two real good defenses, two real good offenses. It might be a stalemate in there somewhere. I'm saying I'm going anywhere between 24-17 or 31-21 or something like that, somewhere around there.
We got the Chiefs.
We got the Chiefs.
All right, Amir. Appreciate you
Amir.
coming by. Really an honor to talk to you. Yeah, best of luck next season, man.
Best of luck next
care.
season.
That is Ihmir Smith-Marsette of the Carolina Panthers. Thank you. Boy, it was a great conversation.
It was.
I always like talking to guys who we get to talk to a lot of people out here. We talk to some of the guys who
Absolutely.
are well established in the league. But then some of the underdogs, some of the long shot guys who are kind of clinging to roster
underdogs
spots.
you just don't hear of a lot.
Right, yeah, you get the opportunity to talk to them and see, like, how did you make it from training camp and you're going to get cut by the Chiefs, but now you got traded to the Carolina Panthers, and now you get a whole runway to work on that.
And a Jersey born guy, for no doubt. I mean, he's from Jersey, Pacheco's from Jersey. I'm telling you, like, it's like a Jersey Shore type affair.
Football factory out there in Jersey.
Yeah, Jersey.
We're gonna have Fred Taylor coming up here in a few minutes. What's your favorite? Do you have a favorite position on the football field, Malcom?
I do. Favorite position has to be I feel my favorite position is the quarterback position, the QB position.
Yeah, I mean that's the fun one to watch, isn't it?
I love watching QBs.
Yeah.
I love watching Tua, Allen try to do their thing. I love watching Lamar do his thing. I love Purdy and those guys do their thing. I love the quarterback position.
It's so cool. Obviously, the camera's on the quarterbacks a lot, but also at the same time, you get to see the different varying skill sets and ways to play quarterback.
Right.
You have like a pocket passer like Joe Burrow or Tom Brady.
You have a side arm. You have a side armor like Mahomes.
Mahomes.
The way that Drew Brees was, talking about how Patrick Mahomes throws sidearm.
Yeah.
As a shortstop in baseball, that's the best way you gotta throw the football.
Yeah, he is incredible to watch.
He is.
And speaking of people who are incredible to watch, we're gonna have the great Fred Taylor coming up here, who was a running back from '98 to 2010. Jacksonville, New England. Oh, Sterling Holmes here.
There's been this debate I've been getting in my X account, that Dan Marino took the M&Ms back. No, these are the Dan Marino M&Ms, and I'm about to crush them right now, okay? I don't know why everyone got this rumor that I wasn't able to keep them.
What happened to mine? He gave us 2 packs.
Yeah,
I didn't
what
get it.
happened? What happened?
Somebody
to
stole mine.
I have both.
You should put those in a case.
Yeah.
That's like Hall of Fame stuff. Those are Dan Marino's M&Ms.
That's Hall of Fame. That's Hall of Fame-esque. You know what I mean?
You got to hook me up with one of those, man.
Yeah.
Not eating breakfast. They can't hear me right now. You have to read my lips.
Sterling's eating M&Ms.
Oh man.
Fred Taylor coming up now. What's up,
Fred Taylor?
How are you?
I'm good.
How you doing, Fred? Patrick. This is Malcom. He's our Special Olympics
doing,
reporter
Malcom?
here.
Awesome, Fred.
Pretty good, man.
Thanks for hopping on with us today.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
So obviously we're here at the Super Bowl. Everybody's working with somebody. What are you here promoting, Fred?
I'm here with Crown Royal, man. Long-term partnership. Last night we celebrated at the Super Bowl Soulful Celebration. I was able to present Nate Burleson with a Lifetime Achievement Award on behalf of Crown Royal, so that was amazing.
Yeah.
Nate then had an opportunity to make a donation on behalf of Crown Royal's donation to his favorite charity, which is the Veterans Charity back in Michigan.
Very cool. Very cool. My old man, absolutely.
I love you too, brother. What's up, Strip? What's up? I'm working.
Oh, we got
I'm
Emmitt
working.
Smith over
You
here.
want to step and say a word?
Come on in, Emmitt.
Come on in.
What's up, man? Hold on, guys. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
it's all good.
It's all good, Fred.
Love you more.
Oh, I'm breaking down. We breaking stuff.
It's all good. It's all good.
Hey,
Rolled right up for us.
Yeah.
I'm here enjoying it. We'll see, man. You know, I appreciate
See, when you're on Radio
every word
Row,
you ever put in for me.
You never know who's
Yeah.
going to come by.
Yeah, you just never
Thank
know.
you.
Patrick.
Thank you.
Absolutely
Love
right.
you, man.
I mean, this is
I'll
this
hit
is
you.
awesome.
I'll hit your line.
Emmitt
You staying
Smith
some clean ones
in a
too.
pair of Concords. Just,
I say you staying some clean
just
ones.
crashing.
Look at you.
Just
All
just
right.
saw Chad Ochocinco pass by.
Yeah, Ocho.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
I'm just here trying to work on behalf of Crown and talk about my beautiful partnership.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
talk some football, and I got legendary Ocho, obviously.
Yeah.
he's so bright, and everyone loves Chad, and he loves everyone.
Yeah,
Then the GOAT himself, the all-time leading rusher, Emmitt Smith.
Yeah.
So it's always good chopping up with Emmitt. So
that's NFL royalty right there.
Yeah.
At its best, right there.
Mm-hmm.
Two great running backs coming by our studio today.
Yeah.
And my old man is a huge Crown Royal fan. He just retired a year ago, so he's in Alabama right now on vacation, sipping Crown Royal. So I know.
Has he ever tried the Freddie T, the signature cocktail?
I don't think he has. No, he puts it in the freezer and then drinks it straight.
I like that. No ice. You don't water it down.
Yeah.
But just add a splash of ginger ale to it.
Okay.
Then he has my personal favorite.
Okay.
Crown and ginger. So you got to shoot him a text and let him know
I'm
that
sure
I
he's
recommended that one for him.
Dad, Fred Taylor says,
yeah,
do it up, man. A little ginger.
That's right. Little ginger.
So during your career, you had 7 1,000-yard rushing seasons.
Mm-hmm.
How the hell did you do that, man? Like, how did you hold up? I mean, this is not a position for the faint at heart.
That is impressive, Fred. I want to know, like, how'd you do it?
How did I do it? Well, let's just say I wasn't drinking Crown because I have to drink responsibly.
Right.
I just a lot of hard work. Just a lot of repetition, a lot of hard work. Practicing, training, proper nutrition, getting my rest, believing in the coaches, the system, and just getting out there and competing. I think the one determining factor is really just competing.
Yeah.
Each and every play, just going at it as hard as you can, never taking a play off, and then eventually good things happen. And for me, it took me a while to kind of understand that part of it. I just was playing off natural ability when I first came in. Then I endured some injuries, and then soon after, when I realized that it mattered, that it really mattered a lot, I started doing those small things I just mentioned: getting proper rest, not going and hanging out as much, eating right, getting into a lot more stretching, taking care of my body, and then better things started to happen.
Were there players that you modeled your game after, Fred? When you were playing in the NFL?
Well, I can tell you a quick story. I wore number 21 in college, and I thought I would get it in the NFL. But my teammate who had it at the time, he wanted $50,000 for it. I won't say his name, but he's a great guy. We became amazing teammates. So number 28 was available.
Right.
And the guy I modeled my game after, which was Marshall Faulk, I saw him as a freshman. He tore up the University of Miami, who was in their heyday back in those days.
Yeah.
And he had an amazing game, almost went for 200 as a freshman. And I wanted to play like him. So when I had to make a decision on the number, 28 was open, I took it.
So
Nice.
if I was talking to somebody who never got to see Fred Taylor play, and I had to describe your running style to them, how would you describe your running style?
It's unpredictable. I'm a slasher. I don't know. I just do it all.
Yeah.
I don't really know how to summarize it other than that. I can do everything. I can run you over big enough, 230 pounds. I can stiff arm you. I can spin moves. I have really good feet, really good vision, really good hands.
Hurdle over a defender?
I don't like hurdling. No.
No, you don't?
I don't. I won't. I hated leaving the ground.
Right.
I didn't like leaving the ground. Now I'm vulnerable.
Right.
But I've seen guys that has that dynamic ability, but
Yeah.
I just never once enjoyed leaving the ground. I'd rather to try to, split you in half and run through you. But, I really can't sum it up in other than I was able to do it all.
Sure.
Man, Fred, I got to ask you, did you have a favorite moment playing for both the Jaguars and Patriots?
Well, my favorite moment playing for the Jaguars obviously was, just one, being drafted there. Like my very first game, it was in Chicago, September of '98 in Chicago. And I grew up admiring Walter Payton. He was one of my favorite backs. He was actually the person who got me into football. I was 9 years old in 1985, which is the year the Bears won the championship. So Sweetness was the man.
Yep.
So I just fell in love with how he was able to run the ball. And Chicago was my first NFL game in Soldiers Field.
Yeah.
So that was one of my favorite moments. Something I'll never forget. And for the Patriots, just playing for the organization itself, didn't really go quite how we expected. It wasn't necessarily what some consider the Patriot way at the end, well, in terms of winning it.
Right.
But everything else is a well-tuned, well-tuned machine.
Yeah.
And just to being in those meeting rooms, listening to Coach Belichick, listening to Tom Brady, understanding how they were so successful, that was more special and meaningful for me than actually going out there playing.
Right.
But we talked a little bit about your running style. The Chiefs here playing in the Super Bowl have a guy in Isaiah Pacheco whose running style is very unique. People say he runs like he's angry at the ground. What do you think of his running style?
He has good vision. He runs hard. Not an extremely big guy, but he runs hard. With a lot of effort. He puts his head down and he just goes. And what's up, Drew? Good to see you, man. I'm good. Good to see you. Drew Brees, man.
Drew Brees.
Legendary
Yes.
guy right here. Maybe I shouldn't have been on the corner right here. I would probably been safe. But no, Isaiah is a really good back. He doesn't get enough credit a lot of times, but he actually makes that offense go. If they're not running the ball, then they can't do those slip passes behind the linebacker level to Travis Kelce. So it's really, they don't have a ton of weapons, but they use their weapons effectively.
How do defenders feel about having to deal with a guy like that they know he's going to come every time, man, and make them earn it?
They're going to come too.
Yeah.
But it's mano a mano, and I would prefer that. And all of the defenders I know that are really good players, they welcome that sort of action. Yeah. They in fact want that more than a guy who's not giving his best effort, because the game gets boring, and then you can lull them to sleep, and before you know it, this guy who's not very good can burst out on a 30, 40-yard run, and now they're upset with themselves the entirety of the game. So really good defenders want to be on their toes at all time, and Isaiah's the type of guy who will keep them on their toes.
Was there a team or a player in your career that was the toughest that you had to face?
Bob Sanders, his career wasn't very long, but every time we met, it was 1,000% effort from him. But I think the one guy who trumps Bob, in my opinion, is Troy Polamalu. Troy, you know what you're going to get each and every play. Mm-hmm. I enjoy playing the Steelers, their entire defense. But Troy Polamalu, he led that defense, and obviously he's a Hall of Fame player.
On the 49ers side of this thing, you got a guy like Christian McCaffrey. Do you think he's the best running back in the NFL right now, and what makes him so dangerous?
Yes, he is the best in the NFL. He's another guy who can do it all. He has jump cut ability, he has speed, he has good vision. He can catch the ball really well. He can run great routes out of the backfield. He's more than a complimentary piece. He's been very consistent. At that position, you have to have an extreme level of consistency, and he's that. His yards per carry is always high. Even in Carolina, being able to leave a different system, and show that there's no fall off. So when you have a guy that can make a transition from one organization to the next, and show no fall off, and do the same thing or either better things on a higher level, then he's the truth. But certainly he's the best back in the league now.
Do you have a Mount Rushmore of players all time?
I think that's unfair.
It is.
It's so many greats. Emmitt just walked by. I saw, Joe Montana earlier, Lawrence Taylor a second ago. Drew Brees just walked behind a few moments ago. I have a podcast called The Pivot, and we've had LaDainian Tomlinson on there.
Right.
We're working on Troy Polamalu, but we've had a lot of legendary players. In Orlando last week, Ray Lewis, he was at the Pro Bowl games.
Yeah.
No, so I don't think it's kind of like the Hall of Fame process. You get 5 votes per year. It creates an exclusive brotherhood, having that amount of guys to go in that can be inducted year to year.
Yeah.
But in some sense, it's almost unfair. Yeah. And the Rushmore is only 4 guys. It's so tough to say 4 guys. when so many guys in the history of the game, or at least when
Made
I
an
got
impact.
into football, they changed the game.
They made an
You have
impact.
so many pioneers. I didn't mention Barry Sanders.
Right.
You know, Jim Brown, my all-time favorite. You know, it's just tough.
I want to ask you about a guy who, you know, I'm a Kansas City Chiefs fan myself, and there's a guy people get into debate a lot about whether or not he should be in the Hall of Fame when he's eligible, and that's Jamal Charles.
Yeah.
What was your opinion of him, and do you think he is a Hall of Fame level player?
I think Jamal is he's a juiced up, not in a negative way.
Right,
I
yeah,
mean,
right.
like amped up.
Right.
Isaiah Pacheco, he was a lot smoother, but he was a guy that if you blink, he was gone.
Yeah.
You know, out of the University of Texas, you know, one of the in his era, in his period, in his time there, one of the greats. You know, you guys have also had some other great running backs, and he stack up there with the likes of Priest Holmes, you know, Larry Johnson, those guys who had some great years there. But yeah, you know, it's tough. It's tough there. A lot of times you have to crack that 10,000-yard mark as an all-time rusher. Maybe even now, a little bit over 11. I myself have been having, you know, a hard time getting in since I've been eligible. I finally made finalists this year. And, you know, I'm a fan of a lot of backs that have come along either during my era or just after my era, even now. I know one thing, he's an amazing back. If I had a Hall of Fame vote, he would certainly get one of my votes. But it's just in considering the amount of guys that might be deemed worthy, it's tough on the selectors, you know, and it's tough to really make that call.
I think it's tough too because a lot of people, when they see a guy like that, then they look at the longevity, injuries, and like, was he able to do it for a long time?
Yeah.
For me, I feel like maybe the running back position should be judged a little bit differently, just because it is. You guys take such a beating.
And that's another thing. There's no foundational criteria when it comes to the selection process.
Right.
And it can be subjective.
Right.
And respectfully, I say that the committee, they have a hard time, you know, narrowing it down. Because when you get in that room, that 15, or maybe even as a semifinalist, those guys are some of the best guys that have ever played to even be considered. But it's just a tough process because real criteria doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Whether it's Pro Bowls, All Pros, statistical yardage, touchdowns, amount of games played, average per game. Like, it's so much that they can process, but what is it at the very end of the day?
Right.
All right, as we head into this game, who do you think has the edge in this one?
This is probably one of the tougher ones to call. I didn't have the Chiefs making the Super Bowl, and for that reason, it's hard to go against them. Spagnuolo, he's a genius. He concocted a recipe that beat an undefeated Patriots team in 2007. And with that, you didn't expect this defense to be this good. We knew the secondary was the strength of the they still are. And Chris Jones is a beast up front. So, but you didn't expect these guys to come back and do. They just constantly rebuild and rebuild. So with that, it's hard to go against them. But the Niners are loaded. And it's also hard to go against them. If they protect and give Brock time and utilize Christian McCaffrey effectively and pick up those blitzes that Spags are going to, those zone blitzes that he loves, they give themselves an opportunity. George Kittle to slip behind the secondary. Christian McCaffrey out on some hot routes. A couple deep shots here and there. They have guys in Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuels that can do that. On the defensive side, you know, when you look at the DNs there, it starts with them. And I think Fred Warner is a great matchup against Travis Kelce. Unlike what Queen and Zero, I can't think of his name, in Baltimore right now. Roquan Smith. Unlike they're not known as coverage backers. So the Chiefs were able to take advantage of that last week, 2 weeks ago. So it's a toss-up for me. I don't want to bet against Patrick Mahomes, and I also know that San Fran has the wherewithal and the guys to make it happen.
Do you have a final score prediction?
If I was a betting man, which I am, but don't take my word for it, I think I like the over 46 more than I like the actual spread line. So, but I don't know. It's always up in the air. You never know.
Oh, well, we really appreciate you coming by.
My pleasure, guys.
Great to meet you.
Thank
Great
you, guys.
conversation.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
It was amazing questions.
Yeah.
Have a good one.
All right, best of luck to you.
Best of luck.
Fred Taylor, man. I mean,
Fred Taylor, man.
Hall
Wow.
of Fame finals.
Oh.
You know what you can see right away, is he's got guys coming over here like crazy. Drew Brees, he's obviously a popular player.
Yeah.
And we got Vernon Davis coming up here in just a second. Former 49er, played for Denver, played for Washington. I always think of him.
Good to see you again.
How you doing?
I don't know if this will work, but
Good to see you again, Malin.
We're setting up a little.
Also have these like mic stands.
All right, let's see.
We got a pickleball thing coming, I guess.
I think we got pickleball of some sort.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out how to set it up.
I'll set this up. It's like.
Yeah, so Vernon's working with Smirnoff, it sounds like. And they're going to be serving up a smash on the Las Vegas Strip with a one-of-a-kind pickleball showcase for picklers and fans 21 and older to experience the bold combination of the brand's newest ready-to-drink offering, Smirnoff Smash Vodka Soda. Later this weekend, the brand will be hosting the inaugural Smirnoff Smash Pickle Bowl, where celebrity duos will go head-to-head for the ultimate title of Pickle Bowl champs. Malcom, have you played pickleball yet?
I have. It's a fun game, Patrick. It's like a combination of tennis and ping pong. So you have to let the ball bounce when you're playing pickleball. You have to let the ball bounce first, and then you hit it.
I have not played pickleball yet. It looks fun.
Like I said, it's a combination of tennis and ping pong. So
But
you have to let this hit the ground first.
It's got to hit the ground. All right.
Yes.
Okay. So, look, this sport's taking off like crazy. Are they going to add pickleball to Special Olympics? Is that a sport yet?
It's already a sport.
Already a sport.
It's already a sport. Special Olympics is already at pickleball.
That's pretty cool, man.
We have pickleball. We have cornhole. Cornhole is a sport. I mean, we're just adding the cream of the crop when it comes to sports. I mean, it's like we got powerlifting too as a special sport too.
I used to play a little bit of sports with a ping pong ball, but it didn't have anything to do with a paddle. I was back in college.
I actually played a game called badminton, and you had the shuttlecock, which you had to hit up in the air.
What's it called? A shuttlecock?
Yeah, shuttlecock. Yes.
I never knew how to play that sport.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. We gotta get this off of here.
Yeah, we just got to get the
I'm trying to stay hydrated.
How you guys doing?
How you doing, Vernon?
Good to see you guys.
Good to see you, Vernon.
I'm Patrick.
Good to see you again.
This is my guy Malcom.
Good to see you again. Yeah.
Malcom is our Special Olympics. We're doing unified reporting, so we're excited to have you over here. Tell us about what you're doing with Smirnoff.
So right now we're promoting our new beverage, very innovative, Smirnoff Smash, 100 calories, and it's extremely delicious if you haven't tried it.
I haven't tried it yet.
Oh man, it's amazing.
When I get out of here,
you got to try it.
They got it in the casino?
They got it at not at the casino, but we can put it in the casino.
Okay.
We can do that.
All right. So what's going on with this? There's like a pickleball thing happening, you guys?
Yeah,
do?
pickleball competition and at Sports World. It's Saturday at 2:30 p.m.
Okay.
Kay Adams is my teammate.
Oh, okay. I know Kay.
Yeah, Kay. Yeah. So it's going to be. I think it's going to be a good one. It's going to be fun.
You're going to do all right. She's competitive.
She's very competitive.
Yeah.
She's very competitive. That's why I'm glad to have her on my team.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. Who you guys going against?
We're going against Saweetie and it was Holmes. Who else we're going? I got to look at Did they give you the list for that?
I don't have the list.
I don't have the list either. I wish I did.
Well, we'll get you the rest of the names.
Yeah.
Well, listen, Vernon. Let's talk a little football. You had a long career in the NFL. We were just over here talking to Fred Taylor and his incredible run, too, with 7 1,000-yard seasons. What was the secret to your longevity?
The secret to my longevity, I would have to say stretching. Stretching all the time. Like, I would stretch numerous times a day. Not only stretching, but chiropractor, massage. I think those are the things that really kept me in the game and kept me going. Yeah.
Flexibility, pliability, all that stuff.
All that stuff.
We see Patrick Mahomes work with his trainer a lot, and he's kind of like Gumby. He gets in some weird positions and he doesn't get hurt.
I saw that. Yeah.
His trainer Bobby Stroop talks about you don't want to be going into a position for the first time, I think, is kind of what he says.
Yeah.
So if you find yourself in that position in the football field, your body may be able to adjust to it.
Yeah, you got to be able to adjust, and he's practicing that. And it's interesting you say that because I used to walk on the side of my ankles, like I would turn my ankles and just walk like that. Because if you think about it, if you ever in that position in the game, the reason why guys roll their ankles because they're not moving it enough.
Right.
So if it's flexible, then you don't have to worry about twisting your ankle.
Makes sense.
Hey Vernon, I would love to ask you, what are some similarities between your 2012 Super Bowl 49ers team and this year's 49ers team? What are some of the differences?
I think the difference is, if I had to say the difference, I would have to put that on the. I think the energy's there. What I look for when I see a team based on like the team that we had in Super Bowl 47.
Yeah.
I think the tenacity, the sense of urgency.
Yeah.
Right. The sense of urgency is there both offensively and defensively.
Right.
And it's just all clicking just the way it clicked for us.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I see. I don't really see. I just see the same approach when it comes to the game. I mean, you can tell like guys know like if we don't win this, we're not coming back. This is it. We're done.
Yeah.
And you have to have that. And practice has to be that way as well.
Right.
Like when you go to practice, you have to practice fast, strong, hard. Like you can't take it easy.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk tight ends a little bit, something that you know a little bit about. What's the hardest part of playing tight end in the NFL?
The hardest part about playing tight end in the NFL would be I don't know. I think the hardest part is just maybe getting up every day and going in and being consistent, staying consistent, giving that same effort and energy to the next day that you did as you did the last.
Yeah.
That's probably the hardest part.
What about the easiest part?
The easiest part is, I think, being a great teammate. It's nothing like being in that locker room, sharing that love with your brothers and wanting to go in the locker room and see them every single day.
Yeah.
That's the easy part.
Guys have different approaches to playing the position. We were talking to Dalton Kincaid yesterday, and he was joking that sometimes not a lot is expected of tight ends when it comes to blocking. So sometimes when he makes a good play, he likes to run over and talk about it. What was your approach to playing the position?
My approach to playing the position was just being balanced. I wanted to be the same way I loved catching the ball and scoring touchdowns. I wanted to do the same thing in the blocking and passing game.
Yeah.
When it comes to pass protection and run blocking, I wanted to be that same way. And that was my approach, as well as doing everything consistently when it comes to the training and preparing. My prep was toe tapping 100 times a day on the sideline so they can become repetitive. And in my mind, it was all I saw it over and over and over.
Yeah.
What else? Toe tapping, catching the ball over my left shoulder, my right shoulder, looking the ball in, just working on the little details and everything that I needed to be a sound player.
Well, to ask you, Vernon, where does George Kittle rank in current NFL tight ends in your mind?
I think George Kittle is definitely top 20. You know, it's too early to really put him higher because I don't feel like he's played enough games.
Right.
But he's definitely in that top 20. And I think he can continue to move down the board for sure to that top 10.
Kittle's a very well-rounded tight end. On the other side of the field, you're going to have Travis Kelce, who's been an unbelievable receiver over the course of his career. Where do you think he ranks? Some people think he's already the GOAT tight end. Obviously, you got Gronk out there. You got guys like Tony Gonzalez, yourself, of course. Where does he rank?
Travis Kelce's won how many Super Bowls? 2, right?
2 Super Bowls.
2 Super Bowls, correct, Vernon.
He's played how many years? 10? 11?
Ooh, more than 10, I think.
More than 10.
Yeah. He just passed Jerry Rice for the most playoff receptions.
Okay.
This
Let's start putting him in that GOAT category.
Touchdowns,
for sure.
yeah.
I mean, he has the years, he has the numbers,
Yes.
he has the Super Bowls. I mean, I don't see any other way.
Yeah.
Right.
What do you think makes him so special as a receiver versus other guys?
I think what makes him special is that he has this unique ability to always get open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Jordan Reed. Jordan Reed was like that. Very crafty, basketball background. He always found himself getting open.
What do you? Oh, go ahead, Malcolm.
So if you had to, did you have like favorite players like tight ends growing up as a kid? That
Favorite.
and also I would ask, is there a current tight end that models your game? Such as yourself, that impressed you most?
Yeah, I think the most physical guy would be George Kittle. He's very physical. I would say George for sure because of his ability to catch the ball and run, get open, and he loves being physical.
All right, we know you got to get out of here soon. We just wanted to ask you, who do you think has the edge in this game, and what's your final score prediction?
I think the edge. I think right now, I'm about to say the Kansas City Chiefs have the edge right now.
Yeah.
Just by the way they've been playing the game, and Patrick Mahomes is. I mean, you can look at his eyes. He's very determined to come out victorious. I mean, in any and every game. I mean, he's the man.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
Okay, the Chiefs definitely have the edge in this one. All right, Vernon, thank you so much for coming by.
Thank you, sir.
Great to
Vernon,
meet
for
you.
coming on today, man. We appreciate you.
Yeah.
Appreciate you guys, man.
Make sure you check out Smearing Off, the
You are,
Pickle
Vernon.
Bowl. It's happening on Saturday, and I'm sure you can find the information over there on their website. Man, we get to interview some really incredible
really cool
players here, Malcolm.
Yeah, we do, and we got Lisa Kerney on deck.
Yeah. FanDuel host. This is gonna be fun.
It's gonna be fun interviewing Lisa Kerney. I can't wait.
Has anybody got this FanDuel code for me?
I'm doing it with her.
Oh, you're coming on? Are we switching out?
Yeah, you can move over there for a second.
Oh, I'm out of here. Appreciate y'all. We'll see you in a couple hours on the Arrowhead Attic stream. My man.
Yeah, we got Lisa Kerney on deck. She's coming aboard right now. And- Hi, Lisa.
How you doing?
Excellent.
No, we haven't met yet. I'm very pleased to meet you, though.
Very pleased to meet you too, Lisa.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. It's our pleasure.
Let me put my Starbucks down. Okay, thank you.
Sterling is back to join me.
I'm back, baby. I needed like a 45-minute break, We've been here since 8 a.m.
More coffee?
It was more coffee.
Yeah,
I had
yeah.
some M&Ms. It was a whole joke because
Yeah.
Dan Marino gave me M&Ms yesterday, and everyone's like, "Are you going to sell it? What are you going to do with them?" I'm like, "I'm going to eat them. I'm going to eat them. I get hungry." Lisa, I know you're here with FanDuel.
Yep.
What's that partnership like with FanDuel?
The partnership with FanDuel?
Yes.
Well, I feel like I'm one of the OGs, if you will. I've been with FanDuel for 5.5 years. I joined FanDuel right when the password repeal happened, way back in 2018. So it's funny when I look around the landscape of our company and how fast we've grown in those last 5 years. Like, I still think I'm like the young, like TV person. And then I look around, I'm like, oh my gosh, there are like way younger people than me right now.
Yeah, you're like, wait a minute.
It's fantastic. I mean, the industry's exploding. We've got just great buy-in and great partnership from the leagues. And so it's a really exciting time to be at FanDuel and in sports betting.
Yeah, and not just that, we have a FanDuel code for you. If you haven't downloaded the FanDuel app yet, you'll definitely want to take advantage of this offer for the big game. New users who sign up through our link must deposit $10 and place a first wager of $5 on any live bet. If that bet wins, you will receive $200 in bonus bets straight to your account. This offer is only available if you sign up through our link, bit.ly/arrow200. You can find that link in the description below our stream, as well as scan the QR code on screen to start signing up. Again, the link is bit.ly/arrow200. This offer will end shortly after the game, so make sure you don't miss out. Offer is only available to new customers who are 21 plus and physically present in legal gambling states. Please remember to always gamble responsibly. Check the episode description for the link and the full terms of the offer. Again, we're here in Vegas. I needed to take those advice. The please gamble responsibly roulette has not treated me well. That's why you go to FanDuel.
Oh yeah, you tap into our system. We have a great marketing campaign called The System. Our goal is by 2026, 50% of our users to be utilizing our safe gaming tools that are on our websites. They're easy to access. They keep you in line, man.
Yes.
So jump on the website, jump on the app, and get yourself straight.
Lisa, I've loved your career as a host, as a journalist. What advice do you have for me as a journalist for the rest of the week?
For the rest of the week?
Yep.
Just do the thing. Be you. Be a fan. Pull everybody. Like our job as journalists, right?
Right.
It's to pull in the viewers, the readers, whoever it is that you're distributing your content to. You're pulling them into the experience. So share what you see, what you hear, what you're feeling, what the energy's like. That's our job. If we're doing that, if people at home are saying, "Man, I feel like I was at Radio Row this week," then you've done a really good job, Malcolm.
Thanks, Lisa.
When you look at the upcoming Super Bowl, obviously Chiefs, 49ers, he's actually a 49ers guy. He's a 49ers
We're
guy.
about to go to blows.
But seeing how much Chiefs got.
Whoa.
See, it's tough. We have the nice little rivalry going.
Yeah.
We have the nice rivalry going here.
I like it.
What are you looking at most in this upcoming game?
I selfishly need the Chiefs defense to come as the Chiefs defense has been coming all year long. This is the best defense we've seen in the Andy Reid era in Kansas City. 17.3 points per game we gave up all year long. We flipped that, 13.7 in the postseason, and that's just the defense.
Yeah.
Then you've got this offense that's absolutely lights out. You wake up the day after the AFC Championship game, and the Chiefs are getting points in the Super Bowl. Like, they come in as an underdog that in the last 12 times that they've been underdogs, they've won 9 straight up. It's
9 out of the 12? That's insane.
As underdogs,
That's insane.
They relish that role. So very excited to see the defense ball out. We know the offense is going to do what they do. One of my favorite players is Isaiah Pacheco because of how hard he works.
Do you have an X factor outside of Purdy and Mahomes, Lisa, that you think is going to make a huge impact in the game on Sunday?
I do. I think Rashee Rice has really come on so strong. You know, throughout those, as Chiefs fans, we realize there were a number of games leading up to the postseason where you're sitting there going like, if we don't figure out how to catch the ball, we're going to be in big trouble. So our most reliable receiver being Travis Kelce, his role on the team, he was dropping balls all the time those last 3-4 games leading up to the postseason. Rashee Rice will catch the ball. He is consistent. He is constant. I appreciate him. So 2 of my favorite players to watch right now are Rashee Rice and Isaiah Pacheco because he just runs so hard.
Do you have a player that you're watching for the Niners?
Yeah, I got my eyes on Nick Bosa. I need Bosa to be shut down. Yeah. He's gonna do what he does because he's an incredible, phenomenal player. But I hope that we do have enough on our line to counter that.
When it comes to Kyle Shanahan's story, I always find this interesting because it reminds me a lot of actually Andy Reid early on. Andy Reid's whole story was gets a lot of wins, offensive innovator, but he can never win the big game. Well, then he comes to Kansas City, and what happens? He wins one, and the floodgates open. I always think it's a little bit nerve-wracking for me, again, on the Chiefs side, that if Kyle Shanahan wins this one, floodgates are going to open. I think he's just a hell of a head coach. What are your thoughts on the coaching matchup here?
Yeah, as you said, he's a hell of a coach. He's a very smart man. I don't know if it's so much just the coaching thing. Kansas City has put together the full package, a front office that gets it, that they bring in the right people. And I'm not saying that the Niners don't have that figured out as well, but on the Kansas City side, when you look at their opportunity to really seal themselves as the dynasty, the next dynasty after the Patriots, they have a chance to win their 3rd Super Bowl in the last 5 years. They have a chance to go back-to-back for the first time since anybody's done it since the early 2000s.
Since the early 2000s, like the
That's
Patriots.
right. It's 20 years it's taken anybody to be in this position. So it's I think more about the full package. Andy Reid is brilliant, and I love like the snow globe and all that, all of the fun stuff that he does, and they really do have a good time. So it's hard to cheer against that. I mean, that's a Kansas City fan saying that. But the head coaching matchup is one of the best you're going to find.
Obviously, Lisa, you are a phenomenal sportscaster. Was there a sportscaster that you idolized growing up?
Absolutely. Linda Cohn. Robin Roberts. Hannah Storm's one of my best friends. I got to know these women when I went to ESPN, and got to know Robin Roberts through other avenues. But those women were true pioneers for us, for my generation of female broadcasters coming up. And the greatest thing about each one of them is they aren't the standoffish, I've done a really good job here and I'm doing my thing. They literally put their hand down and pull you along, and they want you to be successful. And, they've been such great examples for me now, having been in the industry for 20 years, to say, yeah, that's what it's all about, championing other women. And I do hope that the next, generation of women to come do it way better than I do. I want to share what I know, and I hope that they, stand on their own 2 feet, and I know that they will.
Yeah, I mean, just in general, Doris Burke for me was a huge influence. Loved watching her, and then obviously when she started doing some more NBA stuff as well. Just an absolute legend as well.
Yep.
When you're going back and look at this game, we've talked about the defense. We've talked about Chris Jones has a step up. No Charles Omenihu. One of my nervous little inklings here is, this is putting a lot of pressure on George Karlaftis, because Omenihu was a guy who could win early. Karlaftis, I love, but he normally wins with his motor, right? So Chris Jones might be getting doubled, even triple teamed at times. So for me, I think Karlaftis has to have a big game. Is that who you're tabbing, or is it more of someone else defensively?
No, I think you're absolutely right. Omenihu was a huge loss. I mean, he had 7 sacks this season. His pressure, he just was everywhere. So to lose him and not have the in the AFC Championship too. So it's not like we've had a couple games to be able to say, all right, let's feel this out and see, how we're going to put this together. But what's great about football is it's a team sport. And so while there are, a number of one-on-one matchups throughout, it is a team sport. Karlaftis has to step up, but so does everybody else. Everybody on our team, on Kansas City's team, has to come with their best game. And hopefully our best game is better than the Niners' best game.
Did you have a favorite sport growing up, Lisa, that you love to watch outside of football?
No. Football has always been my number one sport to watch. I played basketball in college, so I'm a hooper. I'm a point guard. I drive. I know at 2. Let's go. I'm coming down.
Yeah.
Let's go. Fast break. So I love basketball. That's always been in my blood. But I've more than anything sat down on the couch with my dad and my mom and my siblings when we were young, and we watched these Chiefs games when I was a tiny little thing.
Speaking of basketball, I played basketball for Special Olympics. So last year, I played unified basketball. And my unified basketball team, we were undefeated.
Oh, wow.
Heck yeah.
7-0.
Heck
have you
yeah.
seen the hands?
Have you seen I gotta post you up. Like, get in here and box out. Take you down.
Yeah, I play power forward.
Oh, man, that's awesome.
Tim Duncan-esque, right?
Yeah, I'm Tim Duncan-esque. I'm grabbing rebounds all day, posting up, dunking all day.
What's your comfort range?
My comfort range is like mid-range. Outside, I can shoot threes really well.
Yeah.
My free throw shooting is like 80% from the free throw line.
Get down to the short corner.
Yep.
Those little poppy little guys.
My most points I scored in a game was like 38.
Oh, wow.
Oh, no big deal. Just dropped that 38 on us. Not a big deal.
And
wow.
I actually made a game-winning basket, and that basically sent my team to states. My coach literally hugged me after the game.
As he should.
Yeah.
I hope you felt really good about yourself.
I did.
What an incredible moment for you.
It was an incredible moment. I really just knocked down the shot, just knocked it down, cool, calm, collected, just shot over the defender's hand stretched out, shot it, made the basket, won the game for my team, and we made it to states, and we won states that year.
You know what's cool about that, Malcolm? The way that you just described that whole moment and what you were feeling, you will always have that with you forever and ever and ever.
Always.
What a cool gift, right? Sports, man. Sports. It always comes down to it. Sports, man.
You've been a Chiefs fan a long time, so we're in the same boat here. Did you ever think that we would become the villains? Because did you ever think that the Chiefs would be the team that they're now the hunted? Now they are the team that beat you because they have the better quarterback, that they have the better head coach. Because growing up, I'm sitting here going, it's never going to happen. I'm just going to be alone in a world where my team never wins. I'm a Royals fan. I went to Mizzou. It's a hard life, but all of a sudden the Chiefs have done this. Did you ever think this was possible?
Yeah, that it's a hard life flag. We can't fly that
we
anymore.
Cannot.
No one's feeling
No
sorry
sympathy.
for us at all. One of my favorite players of all time is Marcus Allen. I love the way he played. I would watch him like at the goal line, and he's jumping over everybody and bowling into the end zone.
Marcus Allen played for the Raiders.
He also played for the Raiders. That's absolutely right. He back in those days, you're like, it was almost like we were having our own little like DFS. Like I would play. I would cheer on certain players and be like, he's so good.
Yes.
Our team not so much, but like he's so good.
Yeah.
Brees Holmes.
Brees Holmes. We got
Larry Johnson.
Yes, all those great names. Rest in peace, Derek Thomas.
Yeah.
I mean, such an incredible player. So you'd root for these guys, and as every sports fan knows out there, you give them your heart and soul, and you're just
Don't
like,
forget about
please
Don Torrey
don't
Pope
break
as
it.
well too for the Chiefs.
Absolutely right. Yeah, just here's my heart and soul. Please take me somewhere. So as Kansas City fans, it's been a nice run. Yes, absolutely.
Lisa Kerney, thank you so much. Honestly, really do appreciate the time. I know we're rooting for the Chiefs. We're sorry, Malcolm. We apologize.
In advance.
In advance.
But you see, you both are actually leaning me towards the Chiefs because I actually said, as much as I love the Niners, I just don't think the Niners have it in them to win this game. I just think the Chiefs are going to actually make it. I think the Chiefs are actually going to win it on Sunday, and I just can't wait, just to see it in person because I've always wanted to cover the Super Bowl. It's been a dream of mine. Like in all my years of sportscasting, like as a 34-year-old, I mean, I'm here for the second straight year. I mean, who would have thought that I would get to do this as a unified reporter for the second straight year with fan side, with special moments? I mean, it's just, the world is my oyster. I just want to see where this goes next. It's been a dream of mine, and I'm not going to stop, and I'm just going to keep going.
You know who the winner of this Super Bowl is? Malcolm.
It's Malcolm.
High five. Thanks
Malcolm,
for having me. This was such a pleasure. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Fansided.
I enjoyed talking to you, Lisa. It was an honor. It was an honor and a thrill.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Also, go FanDuel. Come on now. FanDuel. If you're not doing FanDuel, you're doing it wrong. But also gamble responsibly.
100%. The system. Get your tools down.
Thank you, Lisa.
All right, you got it. Thanks, guys.
That was a lot of fun. Malcolm is the real winner over here, guys. I think Malcolm, he's already won. And we're winning because we're with Malcolm. Does that make us a winner too? Can I?
Yes.
Why can't I ball with you, dude?
Yeah, you can ball with me too, Sterling. Absolutely.
I'm 3-point shooter only, though, just so you know. I would say 3 and D, but
We got Victor Cruz coming right now.
I don't really have much defense, so I'm kind of more of a line.
You can work on defense a little bit, Sterling. My defense is pretty good too. I try to stay in front of my defender as much as I can. So
we're gonna have Victor Cruz.
I can't wait
next.
for Victor Cruz.
He's probably got us a lot, but you better believe I'm going to ask him to do his little touchdown celebration.
Yeah, I would love to. I would love to ask him how did he get that? How did he get the salsa dance?
Are you going to ask him that?
Yeah, like, is that his favorite touchdown celebration, or does he have others?
It's solid, man. I mean, that TD celebration. If we can get him to do it, I'm going to be. You got to ask him, Malcolm. You got to ask him, will you do?
Yeah, the salsa dance.
The salsa dance.
I will ask him, definitely, sir. I will.
Man, this has been a great day
It's been
already.
a great day already, and it's just, I don't even know what other surprises are in store at this particular point, Sterling. I'm just on this ride, really. I just don't know.
Yeah, that was so much fun with Lisa.
Yeah, it was fun.
I didn't know she was that big of a Chiefs fan too.
Yeah, you two are just.
It's
just
great.
Talking Chiefs, we all three of us, we were like just talking, riling Chiefs players and everything. It was fun.
Oh, it's awesome. Oh, yeah. Victor Cruz also. Just so you know, Victor Cruz is with Captain Morgan. If you think I'm not doing this entire segment with my leg up on a elevated surface, you're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. You better believe it.
Oh my gosh. Woo.
I'm all about the power move, Richard. Just like that shirt you're rocking right now. It's a big power move.
I'm all about the maneuver move.
The maneuver. What's the maneuver move here?
The maneuver. Like just twisting my body. Just being that flexible. The guy we saw at the media party the other night. I'm kind of like him.
You're like that dude.
I'm like that dude. I'm just flexible that way.
Got to do a lot of yoga.
Yeah.
Lot of yoga. Big yoga guy, huh?
Yeah, I love yoga.
Good.
a lot of mental preparation goes into yoga. It's like you got to clear your mind of of all your surroundings going on. Just one of those things.
A couple comments to get to. Doug in Kansas says, "Cheers, gentlemen. Great work. Cheers to you. Thank you for listening and hanging out with us."
Cheers
Savannah
to you, Doug,
says
as well.
salsa. Yes. Savannah, I'm glad you enjoyed that last segment with Lisa as well. She was so entertaining.
She was.
So good.
She was a lot of fun.
Man, it's been a great day already.
Yeah, it's been a great day
Phenomenal
already.
day.
Phenomenal, incredible.
Already. I'm looking over here. I see a Captain Morgan treasure chest. I wonder if that's real gold in there, you think? Like Pirates of the Caribbean style?
I wonder
or
if there's doubloons, like real gold doubloons.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Or do you think it's fake, like the candy? I would also take the candy coins as well. That wouldn't bum me out too much either.
I would look.
We're actually going Matt Ryan first. Matt
Then Victor
Ryan
Cruz.
coming up in just a moment.
Matty Ice, man.
We've talked to some great quarterbacks.
Yeah, some great quarterbacks this week on the road, definitely.
Drew Brees.
Yeah,
Talked
Drew
to Dan
Brees,
Marino. We've talked to a lot.
Yeah, Matty Ice.
Kurt Warner.
Kurt Warner. Oh my gosh! Wow.
We've
had some fun on the road this week, Sterling.
We have had some. We almost need to get the quarterbacks on one side.
Yeah.
And then the running backs
on
the other.
Yeah.
And see what happens. Hey, Matt.
What's up, Matt? Good to see you.
How you doing?
Doing great. How's
Matt
everything going?
Ryan is here.
Awesome,
We're doing
Matt.
great, man. We're doing phenomenal. I know you're
doing
here with the
phenomenal.
Ice Bucket Challenge.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, really cool. So it's been 10 years since it went viral, Ice Bucket Challenge. And for me, it's personal. One of my good buddies in college was Pete Frates. Pete was instrumental in starting the Ice Bucket Challenge. And, I can't believe it's been 10 years and there's been progress made, but more progress. We need to continue to keep the awareness out there so we can find a cure. It's a tough disease, man. I saw what it did to him. I saw what it does to the family. And continuing the research and trying to find a way to better treat and hopefully eventually cure something that, we're looking to do. And I'm happy to be out here today and spend some time with you guys.
Awesome, Matt. I would love to ask you, what's impressed you most about Brock Purdy and Patrick Mahomes? Just both those quarterbacks.
I'll start with Brock. I think it's his temperament. Just the ability to handle situations, stay calm, not get overwhelmed by anything. I think he's incredibly impressive that way. I think he's underrated in his competitiveness. I think he gets tossed off as nice guy, and he is a really nice guy, but he's a competitor, man, and he's not scared of the moment. I love that. And then for Patrick, I don't even know where to start, but this guy's a winner, and he finds different ways to get it done. He's not scared of the biggest moments.
Yeah.
Your biggest part of the game, he wants the ball in his hands and has a knack for making the play, whether it's running, throwing, scrambling, throwing it up to Kelsey. It doesn't matter, right? He's going to find a way to make a play when you need it. And some guys have that knack. He certainly does.
Awesome.
How do you think Steve Spagnuolo tries to slow down the whole Shanahan system, right? The Shanahan system, phenomenal. CMC, obviously, but just everything in general. How do you think Spags will try to attack this?
Well, I think it starts with shutting down the run game. And to me, that's San Francisco's bread and butter. I know we talk about all of the pieces that they have in the passing game, whether it's Kittle or the two wide receivers in Ayuk and Debo. But to me, it's the run game that sets it all up. And so I think you see early on he's going to hit pressures. This is what Steve Spagnuolo does, but it's going to be more run pressures, trying to stop the run, make sure they're setting the edge, meaning, not allowing San Francisco to get outside in the run game, which is where they want to be, whether it's with the jet sweeps or whether it's with the outside zone. They want to run the football outside and then cut back. So the way to stop it is to condense that edge. I think it starts there for Steve Spagnuolo, and then you gotta hit the quarterback, and that's what Steve Spagnuolo does as good of a job of as any. I can personally attest to that. He does as good of a job as anybody of getting after the quarterback.
Is there a quarterback in today's game that reminds yourself, that just reminds you of you when you played?
There's certain guys that you look at. I think they do certain things well. Like a Brock Purdy in the way that he distributes the ball in the play action pass game, I think is really similar. Tua Tagovailoa, what they did in their scheme, his ability to throw the football over the middle with touch. I think there were a lot of similarities with what he did, and some different guys. Some of these young guys got more powerful arms than I had. I can throw it with more power. I was more of a precision guy, but I also had some pretty good guys on the outside that we could throw deep to, so you didn't have to be as precise. You could just throw it up.
It's really funny here, just on Radio Row, there's a tight-end community that's very tight-knit.
Yeah.
The running backs, very tight-knit. Same thing here with the quarterbacks. We've had Kurt Warner, Drew Brees, Dan Marino, and then all the running backs over here. I'm laughing going, is there going to be a little fight breaking out between the quarterbacks and the running backs out here?
Listen, it's all love at this point, right? We had our times to compete with each other. I think there's this level of camaraderie and respect for guys that have done it at the highest level. And you know how hard it is, right? You know how difficult it is to play in this league for a long time. And when you see guys that have done it, there's a tip of the cap, immediately of, hey, man, well done. Heck of a run and great job. So I think there's a lot of respect, at least from my side, for former players.
Was there a team or a player that was difficult to go up against when you played?
Yeah, I mean, there were a bunch in our division. I think about defensive players, right, that I was specifically on the field going against. And, in New Orleans, I got hit by Cam Jordan far too many times, right? Far too many times. He was a problem for us. In Carolina, which was in our division, Luke Kuechly was a pain in the neck, calling out your plays, and then you're sitting there and you're like, he's actually right. That is exactly what we're about to run. Hopefully they can't stop it. And then I think of Tampa, the three teams in our division, and a guy like Levante David, who's still playing at such a high level.
Such a high level for them.
Still playing great. And I still think of him as this young player, but he's 10, 12 years into the league and still running as well as he ever has. He was a great one to go against for a long time.
Don't forget Antoine Winfield Jr. for Tampa.
Hey, man, the ball hawk.
Yeah, he's a ball hawk.
The ultimate ball hawk. This guy was taking it away at a level nobody else was this year.
Exactly. Wow.
For a player, what is the playoffs like? The intensity level, as well as obviously in the Super Bowl, it's so much different than anything you will go through the 2 weeks leading up, and it's just the pageantry. You're no longer at your place. Again, we're here now, the 49ers, UNLV. Little unique situation here, obviously, right? Yeah. What was this like for you in your career?
Yeah, I think it's one of those things, right? You work your whole life to get to this point, and then there's this bright light that's shining on you these entire 2 weeks that you can't escape from, right? It's just constantly there, and so that part is tough. The constant, media availability that you have to have. It's longer than it ever is, right? So there's that weight that puts on you. But to me, that's exactly what you want, as a player. Like, I want all of that. I want the pressure. I want the brightest lights. I want to be on the stage. Like, there's no stage fright for me. Like, this is where I want to be. And so, to me, I kind of love that. And, it was the thrill. You just immediately get into it and you want to be back again.
Yeah. Again, Matt Ryan here is with us with the 10th anniversary of the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge. I'm sure, obviously, as a player, you're better handling the ice than most, right?
Yeah.
You can take those ice
baths. I was
baths.
used to it, man. Like, we were in the ice baths all the time. I remember doing my first Ice Bucket Challenge. It was after a training camp practice. Yeah. And so it was like, I actually need this. Like, it's perfect. Everybody else is scared of this or whatever. It was like 97 degrees with 100% humidity in Atlanta. I'm like, give me it. Give me all of that ice. It felt good. So,
Matt, really appreciate it, man.
I appreciate you guys.
Pleasure to talk to you today.
Thank you guys so much. Appreciate you.
Awesome. We got a sweater for you right here, Malcom.
We got a sweater that from Special Olympics would like to present to you, Matt.
You guys are the best.
Special Olympics launched the Yeah, I Am Special campaign. The organization is working hard to erase the stigma that is associated with the word special. Awesome, Matt. Thank you.
Awesome, Matt.
Really love it, guys. Keep up the great work, too,
Thanks,
that
Matt,
you guys
so
are doing.
much.
It's really important.
Thanks, Matt.
Thank you, guys.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Good stuff, Malcom. Thanks, man. Good stuff. It's fun.
All right, it was fun.
Matt Ryan's awesome.
That was awesome.
Very fun. It's really cool now because
now we got Victor Cruz.
The Shanahan connection,
Yeah.
When you're seeing how to stop, that was a great question in the YouTube chat as well.
What's up, guys? How we doing?
Joined now by
Victor? How are
Victor
you?
Cruz.
Oh wait, do I have to, Victor? Do I got to do this the whole?
Man, we're on the,
do I got to?
if you want to.
Do I got to
If
Captain
you
Morgan
want,
this
that's
the whole
actually a good
time?
pose.
Thank you.
That's
See,
actually
it's very nice, right?
And he picked the right leg.
Yeah,
you get the
you
right
gotta
leg.
have that leg.
Yeah, the right
Look
leg
at
is
that.
there.
That's sweet right there.
Obviously, Victor, you're here with Captain Morgan.
Yeah.
I'm jealous of this. This is a very cool box right here. What all do you have rocking with Captain Morgan?
Yeah, with Captain Morgan, this is the actual Fan of the Year trophy. So
Wow.
tonight at NFL Honors, the NFL Fan of the Year will be crowned, and they will receive this trophy. So it's just an incredible time to really meet all the NFL Fan of the Year nominees and really just get to know them a little bit and just share their fandom and see just how much they love the game.
Yeah.
And, I thought I loved the game a lot growing up and really loved it, but they love it on a whole nother level. So it's been interesting and fun meeting them and just sharing moments with them and having just conversations about their fandom and things they love. And then on Saturday with Sports Illustrated, they'll all hang out. We'll come and have a good time. We'll toast some Captain Morgan, drink responsibly, of course.
Yes.
And just kick back and chill a little bit.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, Victor, I want to ask you about the salsa dance. Where did that come from?
Okay, so for those that don't know, I'm half Puerto Rican.
Yes.
So my grandmother taught me how to dance everything in the book, bachata, merengue, salsa, everything as I was growing up. So fast forward now, I get into the NFL, and I was looking for my thing. One of my coaches, I was getting my first start. One of my coaches, Coach Sullivan, who's Mexican American, he was like, "You got to represent your culture in the end zone. You got to figure out what you want to do to rep and make it unique to you and whatever it is." And I was like, "Coach, I don't know what you want me to do in there, but I'll figure it out. I'm an undrafted free agent. I just don't want to drop a pass and get axed and be out of here." You know what I mean? So I remember that first catch against Philly, and I shake two dudes up the sideline, and I'm at the 3-yard line about to score, and immediately my brain was like, "You got to dance. Like, that's the only thing that makes sense." I dropped the ball, I started dancing, and for whatever reason, they aired it on Univision, where my grandmother, that's the only channel she watched.
Wow.
And she called me after that and was like, "Hey, what was that you did?" I was like, "It's a little salsa that you taught me." And she was like, "From now on, as long as you're in the league, I want you to do that dance." And I was like,
Can you demonstrate
done.
a little bit of
Are you going
salsa
to do it with me?
dance?
Can you do it with
Come
me?
on,
Somebody
Malcom.
got to do it with me,
Come
man.
on,
Somebody got to do it
Malcom.
with me. If we're going to demonstrate, then we're going to do it right. All right? Right here, right here. It's left and right. Hit. Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah, the hips
Getting
is
into
there.
it.
He's got the hips. That's pretty good, man. Pretty good. Solid.
Did that help you in your
Solid.
NFL career as far as actual footwork? I'd have to imagine, a lot of guys have other things they do, whether it's yoga, a lot of different training exercises outside of football to try and give them an extra step. Do you think, honestly, dancing growing up potentially helped your footwork to get to the NFL?
I think so. I think it actually played a part. I think the more I danced, the more, coordination it gave me throughout my body and just understanding what my body can do. I think that, along with Taekwondo as a kid,
Yeah.
I started that at 6 years old, from about 6 to 12, and I was like the youngest Taekwondo black belt at 12 years old. And then I realized, man, I can't be the freshman in high school and be the karate kid. I gotta figure out something. I gotta transition to another sport and do some other things. Then I got into basketball, football, obviously, and a little baseball. But it was, but those early years of dancing, obviously, and doing Taekwondo really gave me a sense of my body and what I can and can't do.
Talk about the receiving position. I mean, what's the easiest part of being a wide receiver and what's the toughest part?
Well, the easiest part of being a wide receiver is your job's pretty easy, right? Just go catch the football, make the tough catches, and have fun. We get to just be ourselves and show our personalities, right? We get the kind of the freedom to kind of do that. And the toughest part is exactly that, making those catches, in those key moments, knowing that those moments are big moments within the game, and coming down with those passes, not letting your team down, not letting your quarterback down, especially when your quarterback is going to be a Hall of Famer one day. You understand the level of what you have to bring your game to in order to be successful. So that was the hardest part, and that was the great part, too, at the same time.
Before I let you go, Super Bowl champion, you know what it's like playing a game like this. How much different is it from the regular season to the postseason, then obviously the pinnacle, the Super Bowl?
Oh, it's much different. I always say, the regular season is the regular season. It has its battles and it has its ups and downs. The playoffs and the NFC Championship game that I played in was the toughest game that I played in physically. And I say the Super Bowl is the toughest game I played in mentally because there's there's 2 weeks to prepare. You're trying to stay locked in and focused throughout those 2 weeks. You're trying to make sure that those outside things don't interfere with your mentality and how locked in you are. And then you get to game day and you're like, okay, it's time to just do this and like time to lock in and understand exactly what I need to do to perform. So mentally, the Super Bowl is a whole nother animal.
Victor Cruz. Really appreciate it, man.
Appreciate you being on with us today.
Yeah, my pleasure, man. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
And also shout out to Captain Morgan, okay? NFL Fan of the Year. Someone is winning a badass trophy.
Can't wait to see. Lock in tonight to check it out. 100%.
Oh my gosh, that trophy is amazing.
I appreciate it, Victor.
You got it.
Thanks so much,
Thank you,
man.
guys.
Hey, take it easy.
Thanks, Victor. Take care.
Hey, Malcolm, you got a nice little salsa lesson right there, too.
did.
Not only did we get some insight to a Super Bowl champion, not only, you also got a little
salsa demonstration.
Salsa demonstration as well, baby.
All right, we got C.J. Stroud coming up here.
C.J. Stroud coming up next. It's a quarterback carousel today, too.
Yeah.
I mean, it has been. You want to make sure it doesn't fall off? You don't want that to hurt someone's foot? Wow.
It's pretty heavy.
It's official.
Hardware. Yeah, it's oh my gosh.
It's official.
It's official, CJ.
Joined now by the
CJ?
Pepsi Zero Sugar NFL Rookie of the Year
CJ
winner.
Stroud of the Houston Texans.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, CJ?
I'm good. How are y'all?
Awesome.
Good. When did you know you were getting this? Did you know, week 7, week 8, week 13?
No, it really wasn't on my mind. I'm the type of player and person just to control what I control at the moment and just go week to week. All the accolades and stuff, it'll come if it comes, but if it doesn't, it is what it is. But I'm blessed enough to be, the Pepsi Rookie of the Year, along with such great players that I think this is one of the best rookie classes that we've had in a long time, and appreciate all the fans that went out and voted. And it's been just really a special moment for me just to have a great award like this.
Is there a quarterback that you looked up to growing up as a kid?
Yeah, I looked up to Michael Vick. I know our playing styles are a lot different. I'm not as fast as him, but he was a great player in the pocket as well. He's a very underrated passer, and I also looked up to Joe Burrow, and I think we have similar styles and how we play. So there's a lot of players that I looked up to.
When it comes to the Houston Texans, the fans have to be just incredibly excited right now, and you are a big reason why everyone wants to hit on the quarterback, right? But I don't think anyone expected going from what happened last year to this year, and you, again, were a big reason why. Can you talk about the excitement? What happened? What got into the Houston Texans this year over year?
Yeah, I always feel like we've had, special players, and we just needed to put a special team together with the right coach. And it started with D'Amico and him standing that standard every week at practice and training camp, OTAs, just holding us at that standard that we need to win because he knows what it takes. He coming from San Francisco where they won a lot of games, and me coming from Ohio State. I think that's a great thing that Nick did. He brought in a lot of winners, and, winners win. So, it wasn't just me out there. I have a lot of great teammates that played at a high level every week. I always say quarterback's job is to make everybody around them better, and honestly, they made me better as a quarterback as well. So, it's been an honor.
CJ, talking quarterbacks, what's impressed you most about Brock Purdy and Patrick Mahomes, the two teams that we're going to see on Sunday?
I think Purdy is somebody that a lot of people got to show more respect for. It's nothing easy about being an NFL quarterback. Yes, he's on a great team with a lot of talent, but he's upholding his talent. He's making the guys around him play at a high level. He's making plays. He's making the right reads, right checks, and I have a lot of respect for that guy. And Mahomes, he's up there playing with some of the greats right now. I think this game, if he wins, he'll get up there with the Bradys and all that. And I'm a really big fan of his and love what he stands for and just the person he is. You can tell he's a genuine dude.
For you personally, was it pretty cool? I mean, there was that Ohio State quarterback curse for a little bit. You heard about it once they went to the NFL, but you clearly have broken that now, right? Was that special? Did that ever cross your mind at all?
No, I think stuff like that is just for people,
for us.
For fans and media, and
for us to.
And it's not no problem. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion and how they want to think about it. But I think Justin has done a great job.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna have great years to come, and I'm really, excited to see him ball out these next couple years. And for me personally, I wasn't really on my mind, but cool. We're gonna get rid of it. You might as well. So I think even the young guys coming up after me are gonna do a great job coming to the league as well.
This matchup we got with the Niners and Chiefs on Sunday. Do you have an X factor outside of Purdy and Mahomes, and do you have a score prediction?
I don't have a score prediction, but I do think Fred Warner is going to have a great game.
I do think Snead is going to have a great game. I love the corners and I love the nickel. I'm forgetting his name, number 22.
Trent McDuffie.
Yeah,
Trent
McDuffie's a great player coming from Washington. I like both defenses. I think it's going to be a defensive game early on. Points will be scored more towards halftime going into the second half. But I think it's going to be a defensive game. But I do think Mahomes is going to play great.
There we go, baby. What was the hardest part going from college to the NFL? I mean, a lot of quarterbacks, they either sit behind a guy for a year. Patrick Mahomes did that. Obviously, Jordan Love did it for multiple years. You know, that's always a big storyline. Do you throw the guy in right away to start? Do you let him sit back for a while? You were thrown into the fire, and you succeeded. I mean, you had one of the best rookie seasons in a long time. It's very Mahomes-esque, but that was his sophomore year in the NFL. What was that like for you to transition to the NFL, and what was the hardest part?
I would say just like the operational things, getting the plays from from the headpiece and not really getting signals, getting in and out the huddle at a high level, just running the show, and that's something that Coach Day helped me out a lot, and I really appreciate Coach Day preparing me like he did for the next level, which helped me get used to things a little faster, so that was probably the main transition. Other than like guys, playing at a high level, just executing, seeing different defenses, learning like the trees that you're about to play from coordinators, stuff like that. So,
if you had advice for high school athletes that's going to transition from college to the NFL, what advice would you give?
I would say be where your feet is at. Enjoy the time where you are. Work hard. Be focused. You have your whole life to party and have fun, You only have a couple opportunities and chances to play at a high level, especially in high school. You get 9 to 10 games if you're lucky. And then in college, you get 12 to 15 games if you're lucky. And then you get in the league, you get 17. But those are only a couple days out of the year that you get to show your talent and go play at a high level. So I would say, man, just cherish those moments. Some of the best times and memories I have high school and college. So be where your feet is at. Work hard. You have the rest of your life to have fun, But if you can focus for a little while of a season, then you can put your family and yourself into a great position.
When did you know you were going to Houston? Did you ever have any potential chance that you thought you were going? What's up, Cam?
What's up, Cam?
I was about to ask you if he's going to be a Panther, former Panther. Cam.
Yeah, that's my dog. I would say I honestly didn't know. Like, they kind of held their cards close to him.
Sure.
And it wasn't until I got drafted and I was like, okay, I'm going to Houston. I see the number get on my phone ringing. I'm like, okay, but I honestly didn't know.
I was at the draft, and just the smile on your face, just everything about it was so cool. You could tell that you were very excited to be a Houston Texan. And then all of a sudden, what's next? Will Anderson going with you.
Yeah.
What was your excitement level? Then all of a sudden, you see the Houston Texans trade back up, and they draft a cornerstone defensive player.
I was really surprised because I thought we had number 12. So, like, I'm over there talking to the Texan fans, and I look up, and I see, like, we're back on the board. I'm like, hold on, what's going on? So my first thought was, they finna take Will. So, it honestly is a blessing because it took a lot of pressure off of me, not being the only high pick, only high draft pick. And, I don't really necessarily believe in pressure, but, it's a lot of expectations get put on you when you're a high draft pick, and Will was right there with me. He's a heck of a teammate, heck of a friend, and a heck of a football player, and somebody who is going to help this team win a lot of games.
What can you say about Nico Collins? As a teammate, like, what impressed you most this season about Nico Collins?
Like you said, he's a great teammate, a great person, a really vibrant spirit. Somebody who's going to work really hard, works hard on his body, but just a heck of a football player. Like, to be his size and move the way he does, I know he's a number one in this league, and hopefully he gets paid and gets the money that he deserves, because he definitely deserves it. And I'm super proud of him and just the work that he's put in, the attitude that he brings to this team, that winner mentality. Like, he won't be denied, and I'm really proud of that guy.
Obviously, I want to give a huge shout out to Pepsi as well. What's your favorite Pepsi flavor?
My favorite Pepsi flavor is wild cherry. It's one of the best.
Oh, yeah.
One of the best I've ever tasted. Just something that's crisp, is clean. That cherry flavor is just amazing. So whoever wins the Super Bowl, I got wild cherry for them if they want it.
Obviously, it's crazy. The C.J. Stroud rookie trading card is the hottest card on the market right now. What's that like, seeing your face, not only on a trading card, but it's one of the most popular ones in the world right now.
It's amazing, it's something that you, as a kid, having trading cards, trying to get the best guy, trying to get the hottest player. And for me to just be, one of those guys, it's been amazing. So hopefully next year we can get the most jersey sales too.
There we go.
There you go, CJ.
All right, when it comes to the Texans offense this year, I was pretty intrigued. A lot of rookie quarterbacks, they either try and do two things. They're very aggressive or they try and take care of the football. You were somehow both. I mean, looking at the touchdown interception numbers, the ADOT, average yards of depth, I mean, it was all tops in the league, very, very high up. How are you able to be so aggressive and also take care of the football at such a high level?
Just preparation, seeing coverage, knowing what you're going against, really learning my plays and trying to get them down packed like the back of my hand, just because, the game goes at a fast pace when you're out there on the field. And my college coach used to always tell me, the more that you can anticipate instead of react, the better that you're going to play. So anticipating certain reads, anticipating certain windows to throw in definitely helped me take care of the football and also be aggressive.
I love your moxie, CJ. I just love your presence. Talk about the traits of being a quarterback. How is that important as a quarterback, in the NFL? Just share about those traits.
I think the one of my coaches in college, name is Todd Fitch. He was a really big pivotal point in me getting better as a quarterback. Was really hard on me about footwork, eyes, and that's something that I think that as a quarterback you have great feet and great eyes. You can't see what you can't throw, and you can't throw a great pass without great feet. And also the biggest intangible I feel like you can have is making everybody around you better. That's something that I think is our job as quarterbacks, to make everybody around us better.
When it comes to the best defense you faced this year, who was the best defense you faced and why? What did they do that made it a little more difficult?
I would say the Ravens, just because everything ran between, their backers with Patrick Queen and Roquan Smith flying around, making plays, two great players, and they played off each other really well. Then on the back end, having Kyle Hamilton, having Williams, number 32, who's a great player, actually from my hometown, who made plays, and then their corners, Marlon Humphrey, having Stephens on the outside, Justin up front, number 92, and then Davion Clowney. They were packed, man, all over.
Yeah.
And then Mike McDonald, a great coordinator. He's going to do great things in Seattle. Been playing against him since college, and he does a really good job of mixing the coverages up and fire zones, also with replacement pressures, man pressures. There's a lot of different things. Cover zero, he does a lot of special things to put his guys in the right position to make plays.
Yeah. I know, Malcom, you got something to give CJ right here.
Yeah.
I got something for you, CJ. A special Olympic swag.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you, man.
Again,
That's love.
We are here with Special Olympics. They do just a phenomenal job. Malcolm's here. Sterling Holmes of Fanside. CJ Stroud, Rookie of the Year. Pepsi Zero Sugar, Rookie of the Year.
Yes, sir.
Wild cherries spot, baby.
Thank you guys for having me, man. This means a lot. I appreciate y'all,
Hey,
man.
thank you, CJ.
CJ, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Congratulations, man.
Congratulations, CJ. Thanks.
Hey, good luck next year, too, man.
Good luck next year.
Good luck, man. That's awesome. It's been
It's been an amazing.
been a quarterback carousel from the older to the younger.
Yeah.
We've had Kurt Warner, Matt Ryan, Dan Marino yesterday. We've gone all around, and now we have the new young face of the NFL, CJ Stroud.
We have the next generation of quarterbacks coming up behind CJ.
All right, Malcolm, we're going to wrap it for today.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll be back a little bit later on with Patrick Allen on the Arrowhead Attic stream in about 20 or so minutes. So, Malcolm, until next time.
Until next time.
We are out.
We're out.